Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream, and that you could have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, fulfill all your wishes. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. And then you would get more and more adventurous. And you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream, and that you could have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, fulfill all your wishes. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. And then you would get more and more adventurous. And you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th episode of the MGN podcast. Hopefully everyone is doing extraordinary well. I'm doing okay. Make sure you guys hit that like button to share some support here. We do have a massive panel today. We have a lot of things to talk about. So thank you guys so much for making the MGN podcast a very good podcast to listen to. We're trying to get this on iTunes. We're trying to get it on Spotify. We're trying to get it on SoundCloud and everything. Make sure you guys thumbs up that like button before I bring the panel on. Make sure you guys hit that share button as well. Hopefully all is well with everyone. And we're going to go ahead and bring the panel in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's do this. Hopefully you guys are hype. Hopefully you guys are excited and everything. Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on? What's going on?
Man?
All right. Wait, let me make sure Messina is in here. Okay, there we go. I think everybody should be good. Guys, let me know if you are getting any echo or anything like that. Let me make sure, double check on my mic to make sure everything is good, because I want this to be a smooth experience for everyone today.
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good on my end. I got headphones on. Everybody hear me okay? My mic needs to come up any or anything?
Lower mic volume. Who needs to be lowered? Let's see here. They're saying lower mic volume. Let me see. Let me try to.
Is my mic going good?
Okay. Yeah, you sound good.
All right, I'm gonna put everybody at least put everybody at like 88. 80. Yeah, let me try to see. So I don't want no problems today. Everything sounds good? Let us know, guys. Let us know. Make sure you guys hit that like button as well, man. Hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Please hit that share button as well. It definitely does help out the podcast. Everything sounds good? Everything sounds good? Want to make sure everything sounds good. All right, sounds great. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to episode 5 of the MGN podcast. We do have some people here on the panel, returning people as well. We didn't have the Devout Joystick last weekend, and we also have WG Martin and Viper back in here. And we're supposed to be having one more person that's supposed to be joining us today. We don't have Big Cloud. I think Big Cloud is probably going to be still coming, and we have one more person that's supposed to be coming in as well. All right, so let's have the panel introduce themselves once again, and then we're going to get straight off into the topics. We do have a lot of stuff to cover today. So let's start off with Viper.
Hello, Cryptic Viper, Brittany Messina, formerly of Intelligent Software, worked with Activision for a while. How's everybody doing?
Hey, all right, Messina. Okay, let's have on my boy, the one and only, the Devout Joystick, my man graduating with a high GPA. I see that thing on Twitter, man, or on Instagram, whatever. Hey, man, say what's up, man.
Hey, it's the Devout Joystick coming at y'all. Apologies, couldn't make it last week, but I'm here to be on this podcast with some amazing people. Let's get on these topics, man.
Hey, all right. Last but not least, the homie, the one and only, the Nintendo Prince, WG Martin, baby. Let's get it popping, son.
What's going on, guys? WG Martin. Back at it again with the podcast with my boy Marlon and Devout. Let's get it, man. It's about to be lit.
All right. Loving it. I see Ryan in the chat. What's up, Ryan? Okay. All right, guys, so we do have a lot of topics to go over today. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about, as you guys can see, the first title here is a PS5 price leak. And I know we've been getting numerous of rumors about this. We've been hearing stuff from Amazon, different retailers, you know, about price. Then we had Digital Foundry come out with some sort of price preference, saying that the diskless version, you know, is going to be $399, I believe. And then the one with the disc, with the Blu-ray disc, is going to be $500. And they kind of break down and said that, well, Sony is willing to take a hit, you know, on the one with the disc, and they're willing to take a $20 markup per unit hit on that. And so now we have a website called notebookcheck.net. They're saying here that the Blu-ray version of the PS5 is going to be $500. And we do have a launch date from them as well. And we also have the price for the digital edition. They're saying that it's going to be $399. We also have some accessories as well that we're going to be going over, prices for accessories, and obviously Miles Morales as well, which we've been hearing a lot of different price differences on that game. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of summarize it, and then we'll see what everybody thinks. I'll say what I think, and then everybody can chime in on that. So the Blu-ray version of the console, $500. And the digital one, $399, which I think is a steal. $500 seems reasonable for the Blu-ray version. And $399, yeah, the one without the disc, I think that's fair. The DualSense controller, $59. Considering, if I'm not mistaken, I think the DualShock 4 controller, I think it's like, what, $64 or something like that? At least when it first came out, it was like $64. So yeah, they're saying that it's going to be $59. And they're saying that the DualSense charging station is $29. Because when I saw that in the PS5 reveal and everything, I was like, huh, really? Like that I like the way how the charging station actually looks when you sit all the DualSense in there and everything like that. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, that's $29 they're reporting here. They're also saying that futuristic alien PS5 HD camera is going to be $59. So yeah, the price of a game. You know, to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna be buying everything. I'm buying all the accessories. I want to make sure that I have everything all set up, you know, ready to go and everything like that at launch. So yeah, $59 for the HD camera, $29 for the charging station. Now, the Pulse 3D headset. Yeah, this is going to be a little pricey for a lot of people. Wait for it. $159. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
sorry to call out the Lord's name, but $159. But considering the whole 3D audio thing and the whole thing where apparently the mic that's built into the DualSense is supposed to block out any like noise, environment noise and everything, and it only will pick up your voice. So I'm thinking that they might integrate that same type of feature into the 3D Pulse headset. And so $159, I think a lot of people is like, oh, that's too hefty. Wario coming out of me. That's too hefty. Huh? What was that, Messina?
Given it's going to be 7.1.
Yeah, exactly. Like, $159. So that
if you think about it, like the Platinum headset, like for the PlayStation 4 is $299 right now. So I mean,
what?
Yeah,
that high?
It went up.
Yeah.
No way. I thought it was $100. Oh Jesus. Oh, that will sit there till it rots.
Yeah.
For $200, man, I could buy a Switch Lite, bruh. Like real
yeah.
talk. Like,
so
I mean,
that's for the PlayStation 4. So I mean, you think about that, like, you know.
Yeah, that's too much. What do y'all think about that? What do you think Wii U for that price, man? $159 for that headset. Yeah.
All right, let me see here.
Like,
159 for the headset. Then I don't know. If it depends, because if the mic in the headset is better than the actual controllers in built mic, I think the headset is the way to go. Like, I guess people might have to go and cough it up. Like, if the mic on the controller is as good, I mean, I don't see anybody really having the need to offer up 159 for the headset if, you know, the mic in the actual controller is actually good. Unless, you know, you just want, you know, the full-on experience, you know, when you playing like online games like Call of Duty or something like that. You just need the headset. You just want the headset vibe. But 159 for the headset, I don't think it's that big. As much as I would like it to be lower, I don't think it's that as big of a deal. Because the controller already has an inbuilt mic. So it's really optional.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, 159. What's up, guys? Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button. We definitely do appreciate you guys. Yeah, so 159, yeah, for a headset. Godly, man. That's, I can buy like, what, 2 games and something else with that, man. But dang,
I think
man,
those prices are skewed, so, you know, I don't think that the actual price is.
Yeah, most definitely. But if it is true, then man, that's God. I mean, that's a
charging station. They're saying $25 on charging station. I think it's probably going to be more around $35 is what the average cost is for a charging station.
Yeah,
you know,
they're saying $29. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
it'll be about $36. You're gonna have a camera. I think the camera's gonna run closer to about 75. You know, the controller, the extra controller, if you're gonna get one, I think it's gonna run about 75. You know, so it's just the technology that's in them.
You think they're gonna be a little bit more pricier?
Well, if you look at the charging station, it has a charging dock. Okay. So you're gonna end up plugging in the charging dock to charge it up. It's gonna have internal batteries in it, and then you can sit there and remove it from that and like set it where you're gaming at. Have 2 controllers there and wireless charge on them, and you know that's gonna be a great thing. But you know you got to pay for that technology. $25. I don't think it's gonna cover the cost of the battery.
Yeah, I mean, you got to factor in all of that in there as well. And then for the PS5 remote, like the media remote, which I haven't seen a media remote in a while, and I think PS5 is definitely going to have some really incredible features to facilitate this, you know, remote and everything. So the remote they're saying is going to be $30. So basically the same price as the charging station. And
that
then
sounds about right.
Yeah, $30 I think is fair for a media remote. And then
although I do think that I do think that the remote should come with the disc version of the console, mainly because it is designed to run the Blu-ray player.
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, it should be compatible with both.
It will be to run Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that on there. So it would be compatible.
Like digital films and all that.
But as far as like the Blu-ray player, it's the one that's going to need the remote more than the regular one, especially whenever people have problems with using a controller with the PlayStation or running the DVD player. I know like my wife, she has a problem with the controller using it because she's remote control, so remote control would benefit her on the Blu-ray. Now if it's like Hulu or Netflix, she knows how to use the sticks on that. But like jumping films, changing scenes, changing audio, stuff like that, the remote is the way to go.
I see. Yeah. That makes sense. And then of course, you know, the vertical stand that we saw, and it's kind of interesting.
That needs to be included.
Yeah, they should be included in the virtual stand, because remember when they showed off the PS4 Pro and they showed off that the standard PS4 Pro, at least, the stand didn't come with it, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think you had to buy the stand separate.
It didn't come with no stand. The ones you can buy separate was that glow up one, and that was the one that charged your controllers on the side too. Remember that? And then also housed like a few games in the back.
Yeah.
So that was like a third party one you could buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't necessarily sell those. That's the thing.
So dang it.
Yeah. So I you would think that they would sell include this since it is like intricate to the design. Like even if you were to lay this thing vertical, or I'm sorry, not vertical, but horizontal, it needs to be like balanced on the actual stand. Cause I noticed like it's not really, you know what I'm saying, proportion to be horizontal without the stand. So
yeah,
well, if you look at if you look at the pictures of it horizontal on the sunny side and of it vertical, vertical's got a stand and the horizontal's got a different stand. So the both are going to require a stand. So the stand should come with
it, right? Yeah, that makes sense. They really do. Go ahead.
Oh, y'all getting all the accessories?
What's that?
So
They're getting
in
all the
terms of
accessories?
Yeah, I'm getting everything.
I probably won't get the
I don't
remote.
know about everything, but in terms of
getting
accessories,
everything.
he talking about buying the camera, the remote. No, listen, I don't know about the
buying it.
camera. I don't think I need the camera. The remote,
But
probably
maybe
pass
it's
on.
for VR too, right? Maybe it's for
Well,
VR too, man. And some
here's
other
the
cool
thing- here's the
gimmicky
thing,
trickery
though.
thing, man.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, that would be smart if that's for VR and like they sold it to you super early, and that way they
Yeah.
can sell you the new one cheaper.
Yeah.
So that way it doesn't have to come with a camera and all that. That might be a strategy for them if that is true. But aside from that, though, and that remote, I mean, the only real accessory that they showed that I would probably, without a doubt, buy day one is that headset, and you know, it's the only one I would need because I don't know. Talking into my controller. I don't know. We haven't seen it tested yet. That's the thing too. We haven't seen that tested yet. The whole controller mic. Odds are it could very well sound very similar to PlayStation Vita, because I remember y'all can voice chat with PlayStation Vita like that. You can talk to the Vita, and so if it's similar to PlayStation Vita, then okay. But in terms of like ideal for like the main experience and hearing all the sounds which they're really like trying to push, you would really need that headset. So I would really just I'll go strictly with the headset, the console, and obviously if that stand is not included, then the stand for the system. If it's not included.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'll go with you on that, Ryan. I think they should add the stand in there because it just goes with the aesthetic of the console design. And
I mean, nobody's laying this thing horizontal. Let's keep it real.
I know it looks extra ugly horizontal. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That should look ugly.
I would think how it's looking.
Where you can see that tower of beauty. Yeah.
The console is huge. Did y'all see that?
it's
the guy holding it.
It's the most massive size yet to this day,
bro. It's
they
from
said they
his
did that
waist
for
up.
airflow, and so that kind of adds to what we talked about before in the past. Remember that, Marlon, when they were talking about cooling problems? Those reports were going around. I'm pretty sure that's probably why they focused strictly. Remember how, like when we first saw the reveal, they showed the blue lights around it, and then they immediately zoomed in between with the ventilation in between it, and then around. I'm pretty sure that's why they put it like in this particular design. They went with that open V shape where, you know, the air can circulate much better through the system. So
and
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
They stand it vertical because hot air rises, so it'd be easier to dissipate the heat that way.
Yeah. Like Xbox Series X, I don't see nobody laying that thing horizontal.
Sideways,
It's gonna look like a rocket launcher.
it don't look right. Like for either system to hold them horizontal, you have to hold these things vertical. These systems are just, you know, towers now. You know, heat rises. It's the only way to get efficient cooling throughout your system. I mean, unless you want to go back to the store every, let's say, 3-4 months and buy another one. I mean, have fun, but shit. You want that efficient system? Hey, you better have that thing vertical. So
the good thing about TV stand can support the vertical. Like I could put it on the top part of my TV stand and have no issue. Like,
should be in Marlon. I mean, hell, we talked about this a long time ago. But hey, if that damn I didn't think I would have this conversation, but hey, I think I might go all digital edition. I honestly think I just like that style.
No! Don't do that to us.
I might do it. Like it looks much better in the all digital version versus the other
Ryan,
one.
Here's the thing, though. The dark side, man.
I ain't going to the dark side because it comes down to which one I can get my hands on first. Honestly, at this current time.
So you're thinking you're gonna get your hands. What you're saying is you're more capable of getting your hands on a digital one versus the one with the Blu-ray. So you thinking the one with the Blu-ray is going to be sold out?
The Blu-ray, the thing about it too, though, I think the all digital one is going to be sold out a hell of a lot quicker than the
physical
one
one?
with the disc drive. I think,
Really?
yeah, I think that's going to be sold out a lot quicker. Reason why? $100 cheaper. I can see that being the case for them. It's because $100 cheaper. But for
But
the
now you
standard,
gotta.
the standard one, again, I'm torn between either one. Like whatever I get my hands on, I'm grabbing.
I can't go with that because everything that I've been seeing from people running polls on it, and people talking about it on Reddit, on Facebook, and everywhere else, stuff like that. At least 75 to 80% of people are stating that they're going to get the Blu-ray drive, even though it's going to cost more, mainly because they have physical media for PlayStation 4 that will play on there, and they also have a backlog of their Blu-ray discs that they have at home that they want to play. And then, some of your older people as well also have their DVDs that they want to play on there, and their CDs and stuff like that for music, else like that. So, I see a lot of people going for the disc version, and I think it's going to be sold out before the digital. You know, especially since the digital is going to have the exact same size SSD on it. The only difference is it's just missing the drive. Most people are going to go for the drive, and it's just because of old media that they have that they want to be able to play.
It's different.
And just look at the pre-order too. Like if they ask for $100 pre-order, then it's only really $400 because a lot of people are going to put in stuff for trade-ins.
After the increase of digital sales in general, though, like Sony's digital sales have been higher than they've ever been for like a console gen, especially compared to PS3. And so I'm pretty sure that's one of the other reasons why they really went all out with this digital edition version for it. It's just for that, because you guys already know conveniently on your PS4, what does it say on the far right? Library. So obviously that entire library would be transferred over to PS5 with the new dashboard. So again, that's just what they're doing here with it. I'm really interested in seeing how that new dashboard will look for sure, or the UI, because one feature that I've always wanted for PlayStation and they never had it, but Microsoft had it. Like where like when you play a game, it shows your progress in the game, like your achievements and all that. Obviously they got that with trophies, right? But it doesn't show like the percentage of actual like every single thing for the trophies. It doesn't show that like what you've done. I would love that to be added to PS5. That'd be dope for an option.
I think that's we do have a guest here, Saltiest Gaming. What's up, bro?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, let's go. Let's go, Salty.
I heard you guys talking about price. Like what? I kind of missed the front end of the conversation. Is just the PlayStation 5 and the digital version. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Okay,
about
so
accessories and everything too. But
so this website called notebookcheck.net, they put out an article based on a PlayStation leaker that got some things correct in the past. I think his name is Ps5 Price or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, but apparently the Blu-ray console is supposed to be $500. The digital one is supposed to be $399. The DualSense controller is supposed to be $60. The charging station $29. The camera, HD camera, is supposed to be $59, and then the Pulse 3D headset $159. The remote, the media remote, is $30, and then the vertical stand is $24.99. And we do have some launch dates for that, which is all of them are saying November 20th, which is like what? That's Black Friday, right?
Yeah. So I did a video on this, and then there were some good comments that were made that kind of had me think of it, because I'm on the digital train. I think Bit said he's kind of moving towards that, team digital, because
dark side is your destiny.
You're going to the dark side, Salty? Oh my god!
I'm already there, basically. Like with my library. Yeah, like I only have 2 physical discs for the PlayStation 4 right now, so it'd be very simple for me to just say, hey, I'm going all digital, because I don't watch Blu-rays. Like, I don't buy Blu-rays. I'm like completely digital with my library. Like, everything is digital now. If you would have asked me 2013, hey, Salty, you gonna go all? I've been like, no, that's not me. Right? But we're, you know, fast forward to now, but
Yeah.
some people are like, well, how are you going to get those deals with GameStop and, you know, like the physical discs or trade in your discs? And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. But at the same time, if you get a discount in the beginning, you can put that towards other stuff. Plus, a thing that a lot of people don't think about is game share. And that saves a lot of money, because essentially $60 games are $30 games, because me and my game share buddy, we map out what we want, right? So Ghost of Tsushima's coming out. Hey, you put half, I put half. He Venmos me $30. I'm paying $30 for games. So that in itself makes it worth it to be all digital. I know it's not that way for everybody. Not everybody game shares or whatever, but at the same time, you look at the amount of sales that PlayStation's having, or just everybody in general, you know, like Steam was traditionally that place to get those sales, like PC and stuff. But now you look at Xbox, you look at PlayStation, they're stepping it up when it comes to these digital sales. Like, they're having sales all the time, and they're making it very adaptable, let's just say, for people to want to be in that digital space. I can see how it's scary to completely, you know, 100% not have a disk drive, because then you're stuck there. But I think at this point, for me personally, it would be the correct decision, because I'm already there, right? I just saved money for it, you know? So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you, Salty. It's like,
yeah, because Ryan doing the same thing.
Sales are getting up there to what's that shit called? The gaming sales are getting up there to Steam level.
Yeah, because
they're getting closer. Not necessarily completely on the level, but I would say they're getting up there. They're giving you a lot of value with like a lot of games. Even the third-party games that you probably didn't bat an eyelash at like a year ago, you can get like at a better deal than you did, you know, before.
Yeah,
so.
And it's incentive for Sony to get that out there. You know, people were telling me, because I know Eurogamer Digital Foundry did that video about how much the Blu-ray actually costs. What is it, $20 or whatever? And I was like, well, you know, they could eat some of the costs and go $50, but then some people are saying, you know, they should go the whole $100. And there's like the history with the PlayStation 3 where they lost a ton of money, and that was a bad, you know, time for them. But this is a different time. If you look at like the most profitable companies in Japan, Sony's number one. They're above Nintendo and stuff like that. So this is a different day and age than, you know, last generation where they're at, you know, monetarily. So I feel like they could eat more cost if they feel it's necessary to kind of expand their digital portfolio and get people into that software ecosystem, because that's where they make their money. So if you cut the middleman out, I know GameStop is already struggling and all these other, you know, brick and mortars are struggling, but if you cut them out, you make more money. Let's be honest, right? So you make all that money, and then, you know, PS Plus, everything, it just expands. If you have everybody locked into that digital system because they don't have a disk drive, then you got them, right? So
yeah.
I agree.
That makes perfect sense.
They got
I agree
you
with
their
that.
first party. They got you with. I mean, they got you everything. At this
But I seen something like to that point, like with GameStop, like they're pushing like a whole new like floor plan with how they're going to try to, you know, keep their stores afloat, like gaming stations, and letting people like play and try out games at their locations. And I think that's partially because Reggie's on the board now. So I mean, it's hopefully gonna, you know, change up how they market their stuff. Like, I already seen like a couple test stores that it looks completely different. It looks like a video game Foot Locker.
Yeah, most definitely. And here's another thing that I wanted to kind of shed in here, and I think everybody's gonna have something to say on this, because, you know, this is gonna really heat up right here today. So Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, right? They have it on here for $39. Obviously, we're hearing reports that it's gonna be 15 hours long. It's gonna be a AAA game, but it's on the long with Uncharted, Lost Legacy, that type of experience, right? And then we saw Sean Layden came out, and we haven't heard anything from Sean Layden since last year, and he said that he would like to see more 15-hour, 10-hour, 15-hour experiences, you know, versus what we've been getting a lot, because it just takes more time to give us.
Oh yeah, you talking
AAA.
about the cost of development, basically. Yeah, he
Yeah.
said 12 to 15-hour games. Yeah, he said
Yeah.
that he would welcome those back if possible. And the reason why is, again, y'all see this with every evolution of consoles. More money goes into production value of the games now, and we're at that point where we're at that insane realism. Like GTA 5 had a higher budget than the damn movies, you know,
Real
to get
talk,
out there, and that was $500 million. And he also went on to say stuff like games like a lot of first party PlayStation games, AAA wise, you know, like they were on millions of dollars, and basically some don't even break even. Like look at we got lucky with Death Stranding. Death Stranding broke even according to Hideo Kojima.
Yeah,
but that could have been a massive flop. And for those of you that don't understand what breaking even means, picture going to work, right? And all the money that you spent going into gas to get to and from work, and your check came in, and it basically equated that cost. That's basically breaking even. So,
yeah, and then also the development timing. You know what I'm saying? You got to wait 5 years for those AAA
5,
experiences.
6, 7 years. I mean,
it's a profit and loss statement that they projected during, you know, way before pre-alpha, way before they even started developing. Like they got to submit a profit loss statement and see, you know, okay, we have these many workers. How much time logistically are we putting into man hours for employee wages? You got to factor that into the cost of the game too.
Exactly.
Factoring all of that.
Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 feels like two completely separate games fused together.
Yeah. Most definitely. You know, and here's the question though. Here's a big question that I think on the Xbox camp side of things, they're ranting and raving about this, and I wanted to talk to everyone on the panel about this. So there's this talk, right, that the Series X is going to outsell the PlayStation 5 at launch. And I said, okay, where are you guys getting this whole theory from?
Halo.
Well, they're telling me Halo Infinite.
Is that it? Like
wait,
Halo?
wait, I'm about to blow y'all minds. Y'all gonna be laughing.
Listen, you're gonna get them upset when you say it, but like I keep saying this, man. Y'all keep putting this unnecessary pressure on Halo. Y'all need to chill. Y'all need more than Halo, but they don't want to listen.
I'm like, where is y'all getting this whole idea from? You know what they said to me? They said, okay, Marlon, check this out. There's like, well, Halo is a much more bigger franchise than Spider-Man. I said, are you insane? I said, only an insane person.
In what universe are you talking about? Because
Spider-Man is a beloved character that's expanded beyond.
Spider-Man is global,
Now, check this out. Check this out.
His popularity got ignited even higher because of the MCU.
Yeah, exactly.
But check this out. How many? Not in the world of gaming, like Halo is more recognizable, but like in comic books, like Spider-Man. You know, if Spider-Man came out as a video game character, not a comic book, Halo would have it beat. That's what people are saying with the sales from that. Now, if you are bringing the whole clout that Spider-Man has, Spider-Man trashes Halo in its whole universal scale, but just in gaming, not a chance.
But that's what I was trying to tell them, and so they're saying, because of Halo Infinite and the hype surrounding that's going to push more Series X's at launch over Spider-Man. And this is what I was telling them. I was like, okay, well, Spider-Man did extremely well on PS4, and it actually sold more than Halo 5. I think the last time we got any sales numbers on Halo 5, I think it was 5 or 6 million or something like that. Spider-Man on PS4 sold over 13 million copies. So I mean, just off of that alone, just goes to show you that Halo is not the same anymore. Halo does not have the same hype as it did on the 360. And to be honest with you guys, they should have stopped after Reach. After Reach, they should have stopped with Halo, because it just fell out of touch for me. And so
every time you say that, it immediately goes to fanboy thing, because they go, "Oh no, Halo Reach is perfect." I'm like, listen, ain't nobody hyping up Reach.
But now, check this out. Let me play devil's advocate, because remember what I just said. Spider-Man, because of his universal clout, is what makes him relevant. Now, what movies just came out before Spider-Man dropped?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna point out to. You know what I'm saying? Because Spider-Man video games before PlayStation and Insomniac, were they killing it? You know what I'm saying?
Not
were
really.
they critical? You know, like how much did those sell? Who was even doing those? Activision? It was some weird. I don't know.
You know,
Spider-Man in general, like the games before the MCU.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about before PlayStation and the PS4, right? Where they had the exclusive rights, and Insomniac took it to this next level, because it was a perfect storm of the MCU and the popularity of, because Spider-Man, even in the movies, kind of dipped down, right? With the two movies that came out that weren't that good. Then they did the MCU deal, right?
Yeah.
All during that time, the video games were not that popular, and they weren't even that critical successes. And I don't know what the sales figures were for those, but I know it wasn't like 13 million, you know. So in a video game realm overall, Halo is a bigger franchise, right? You can't say that Spider-Man is a bigger franchise. You could say lately, but you say overall with history, you would say Halo is that bigger name. Now, history would tell you that Halo's on the decline, right? With 5, the performance there, the excitement. So it is what I think everybody wants a good Halo game. There's like the people that are fans of that, they haven't had it in a while, because you could see that with the Banished teaser on social media. Because I'm hard on Xbox, because I was rocking with them for a while, and I just got tired of their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
tired of the lies, man. It's all lies,
so I'll tell, because people think I'm just always negative on them, and that's not the case.
No,
like,
it's not the truth.
If they do something good, I'll give them props. That teaser with the Banished, it got like 2.5 million hits on social media, and Xbox people don't like to talk about social media traction unless it has positive nature with them, which it doesn't happen a lot, because Xbox doesn't get a lot of play on social media because people just really don't care. It's a hard truth, but it is what it is. Like, you look at the PlayStation, like I think PlayStation had more traction on the logo reveal than Xbox did on the actual console. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
80+ million.
With this Banished teaser, it got like 2.5 million views or whatever. It was traction on social media, so you could tell that people want a good Halo game. Now, can 343 do that? I don't know. I'm skeptical, right? Because they just don't seem like they have it together. One of the main lead director guys left. They put like 1,200 people. If the rumor of 1,200 people on Halo Infinite is true, I'm worried. I'm worried, bro. I'm worried.
I'll give, like, if they do it right, like we all said, Halo is the more prominent face compared to Spider-Man. Like, if Sony, let's just say, if Sony was to end their announcements until Black Friday, and they said that's all we have to show, and Spider-Man was the only leading game for Sony for the first 6 months of its release, I will actually say that Microsoft might beat them until their next big release comes out with Halo, if they did it right. But it's a two-sided thing, though. It's a seesaw. So two conditions I see need to be met. One is Halo needs to not suck, and then Spider-Man needs to actually be better than Halo. So it's kind of like, you think they're the similar things, but they're not. Like, Sony could like do an amazing job with this Spider-Man. You know, I don't even want to really call it a full sequel because it's not, but they could blow everybody's hats off. But then what if Halo is just as good, if not better? Then you have a problem.
And that's what we all want. We all need that to happen because we need competition in general.
Yeah, that would be unique too, because you've never seen that happen.
Yeah, the thing is, when you talk about competition, a lot of people tend to take that as just straight hate. Like when you're calling out the negative.
Yeah, exactly.
One positive, they look at that as hate, and it's like, well, I'm not saying that in a hateful way. I mean that in the most positive way. Period. You know, because why? Because Microsoft brought the best out of PlayStation with the 360.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I credit Microsoft for the reason we got Uncharted.
Facts.
The biggest question. The biggest question with that Spider-Man game is like, how long is it, right? Because it's a standalone game, kind of like.
Say it was 10 to 15 hours.
It's going to be neat. For what I'm thinking, I'm not expecting insane length for that game, even though they said it's full length. I'm not expecting insane levels with that because this is kind of like a small taste before you get to the real big
thing.
Which is the second one.
Yeah. Because how much did Uncharted Lost Legacy sell, or like was that as
think
big
it
as
was-
Uncharted 4? Or I mean,
No,
Lost
You know.
Legacy?
no.
Yeah.
Lost Legacy was smaller, but it had the multiplayer tacked on.
yeah, because the only reason I point that out is like the smaller scope of the game. We'll never know until we play it. You know what I'm saying? But usually, if it's going to be, let's say that game's like $40 or whatever, just based off the length. I don't know what they said. Did they say it's going to be full $60, or they probably haven't commented on it?
They haven't really commented, but they're saying that it's gonna be like $39. That's what we hear. The rumors are saying, being that it's it's not a full-fledged AAA game. So yeah, they're saying $39, which I think is fair.
If you look at apples to apples, like of course Spider-Man with the traction, the popularity of the main game, you would say you give the edge to Spider-Man, but at the same time you look in apples to apples, a full Halo game that they've been spending, they put a new engine on it. Like 343 is obviously the shitty part about that, but they do a new engine. They're going to have multiplayer in there. They're going to have some other surprises that we don't know about. And that's going head to head with a Lost Legacy length game. It is Spider-Man still, which is exciting. It's going to move consoles, but like apples to apples, one's bigger. Obviously, you just have to be honest about that, right? So
That's
you
true.
gotta make a Drake lyric about that. Like if Spider-Man beats Halo, like a full-fledged game, you gotta say, "I don't want to hear about this ever again."
That's gonna blow a lot of people away.
Listen,
That's what they're saying now.
Expecting nothing but greatness from Halo Infinite. If that shit does not blow me away, and I mean,
It's over.
It's a wrap.
Because you gotta look at phase 2 of PlayStation 5. Like the following year, you're gonna have all the real heavy hitters coming out, and then if Microsoft already days, you might as well just blow on them and let them fall down.
Yeah,
Exactly. And then here's another thing, guys, that I want us to all talk about, because I think this is going to be very interesting. Now, question before we get to the whole Phil side: do you guys think that the Xbox Series X has a chance of outselling the PlayStation 5 with Halo Infinite in mind?
I mean, just look at the impact of this. Like, remember, Microsoft had the head start already with the reveal, and Sony garnered much more traction with theirs in just a small time frame. I don't even think, even with Halo, that's enough to overpower them day one. That's what I'm saying.
Salty.
My standpoint on this: the only people that could beat Sony is Sony at this point, and that would be supply. You know what I'm saying? So there's been rumors that there's not going to be a lot of supply, and I have a feeling once these pre-orders go up, they're going to be out of stock in minutes. You know what I'm saying? So people got to be on top of it. So really, if Xbox outsells Sony, is it because there's more excitement for Xbox? No, it's because there's more supply. That's it. And like that's it. Like, I mean, I'm just being honest with you, you know.
It's funny though. You see more Xboxes in the stores, and it's like,
they'll have more supply. So of course, Xbox people will be like, oh shit, it's the first time we out. You know what I'm saying? Because when did they win an MPD last? I don't know. It's been a while. So if that happens, then all the Xbox people will be like, oh, Xbox is back, blah blah blah. But in reality, from what I predict, it's going to be a landslide. The whole gen, it's going to be worse than it was this gen when it comes to how many consoles are sold with PlayStation and Xbox. I'm just being honest about it, you know. So
real talk. Wait till July.
Honestly, I don't think Xbox is gonna outsell the PS5. No, it's just not happening, bro. Like look at what happened with the Xbox One X. Like that thing just flopped on immediate release. I don't know.
And it's discontinued.
Yeah, like
wait.
Go ahead,
Messina.
What you
have to consider is your library. Okay, during this COVID thing that's going on, you're looking at a lot of people sitting there and buying their games digital on their consoles, and we're looking at 100. Was it 112 million consoles for PlayStation 4 sold, and that's 112 million people with those consoles buying digital games for PlayStation 4 that play only on PlayStation 4. And you're going to be looking at people carrying their libraries over to generation. So what are they going to buy? They want to carry those games with them. So that's going to be your biggest sell point there. Then on top of that, you've also got the new Kenna game coming out. You got Ratchet and Clank. You got the new Crash Bandicoot. You got Horizon 2. You've got Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then Spider-Man 2 coming on later on down the line. You got all these titles coming out, so like that to back up PlayStation 5. And in addition, Sony just blew it away when they did the 26 game reveal on their show, Live Play on the PlayStation 5. Yeah. And they showed off, and then they showed off the SSD with the Ratchet and Clank with the live loading of the worlds just by passing through a portal, and it's complete world completely loaded, in less than a second. So I mean, you got all that going on for PlayStation and stuff like that. And then you got to look at, 53 million Xbox Ones and Xbox One X, that they sold. And, they got Game Pass. And then all those games are on PC also. So, I mean, it kind of negates the point of buying an Xbox Series X unless you just want to go the cheap route on getting an Xbox and lose out on the other stuff that a PC can do, like modding game, PC only games, stuff like that. So you got that issue. And then you have to look at the issue of how the games are made on Xbox, because you have to program a game to the oldest ported. And for the first 2 years, they got to support Xbox One, which means the new Halo game has to support Xbox One. All right, so it's not taking advantage of the next gen hardware completely. There's limitations in there because of the way it's coded. And then it's also got to support PC. And even on PC, you got to support the oldest hardware supported. So you got to look at that. So you got those issues going on right there. Xbox might have a more powerful GPU, but that GPU is split between audio and games. Okay, so how much is actually going to go to games and how much is going to go to audio is determined by how much ray trace audio they're going to put into it. So you got to look at all of that and stuff like that, and then you can make a determination. PlayStation right now has got their market's edge being with this exclusive content for that platform. There's a reason to buy the platform. There's no reason to buy an Xbox Series X, at least not currently. And, PlayStation's just going to dominate.
Yeah.
When we played the whole Play Anywhere shit, like me and Salty got attacked. Remember that shit, Salty? We got ridiculed over this, but that shit eliminated really any reason for you to buy a console from them. I'm just keeping it 100. Like, it's pointless.
I mean, if I got a PC and I can play Halo Infinite on my PC, and there's an Xbox Series X coming out there, I've got Xbox One X. Xbox One X will play Halo Infinite on there. So why would I go out there and spend $500 on an Xbox Series X when I've got a PC and an Xbox One X here at home that I can play the same game on?
Thank you. And that's what I've been saying.
What's the name? Like, for a lot of us, especially because, we all got capable rigs in this party for majority of us. All we got to do is upgrade our graphics cards, like to the 2080 or away from the new 3080. That's it. I mean, you don't really need Series X. That's the fucked up part about the situation. You don't
Big Cloud. Did you see my conversation with Smooth? Shout out to Kid Smooth, man. I love the dude. He's the best spot. You know what I'm saying? He represents, but he put this tweet out there that said, if these dudes that are talking about the Xbox and the Xbox Series X aren't planning to get it, and so their opinions are irrelevant. I posed the question to him. I said, well, isn't Xbox PC's Xbox? And I also said, we were going back and forth. I said, it's similar. The only thing difference about a console and a PC, because the same shit in there: CPU, GPU, RAM, all that other stuff. Partnerships with AMD, right?
X86.
Cooling, it's the same shit. It's just a closed platform for the consoles, and it's optimized differently, right?
So he's called this. They're laptops this gen, and last gen, or this gen and the next gen. They're basically laptops because they're using x86. That's basically
So I said, why can't people that have PCs have an opinion on Xbox and the Xbox Series X? Because it's essentially, if you have a rig that's capable or even above that, it's the same shit. You're playing the same games, And he's like, well, if you don't have an Xbox Series X, you can't talk about it. And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it different?
Yeah.
How many times
you gotta look at the hardware also. You gotta look at the hardware also. I mean, Xbox is touting a new SSD, 2.5 gigs per second. You're looking at 5.5 gigs per second compressed. It's, a half to is a it's like a half, if even a third of the speed of the PS5. And then you got to look at PCs. Well, it's going to match PC as far as SSD speed, but it's not going to match PS5. At least PCs won't for the next 2 or 3 years. Okay, so Xbox is more in line with the PC than PlayStation 5 is. All right, but you got to look at the fact that your games are going to be coded to the lowest common hardware, and the lowest common hardware on an Xbox is going to be what PC has to offer. And yeah, they can raise the specs on PC, but how many can afford it?
See, there you go. That is true. And and this is the thing that I've been saying the whole time, about the whole Xbox situation. And I made a video talking about this a while ago when Matt Booty put out that statement saying that, hey, look, there's not going to be no exclusives for the Series X for at least another year or two. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the freaking point here? I can just buy me a freaking PC. And then people will say, well, I can't afford to build a PC to run all these games, yada, yada, yada. So they're trying to find every little thing to justify the purchase of the Series X, which is fine. If you want to buy a Series X, that's up to you. But the fact that I can play Halo Infinite on every Xbox One variation that came out from 2013 all the way up until now, that speaks volume to me. Because if people still have the OG Xbox and you could play Halo Infinite on that, you could play Halo Infinite on your PC, the S version, the SAT edition, the X, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, what's the point? Unless you want that beautiful 4K 60 or 120. I don't know if it's going to run that high, but at the same time, they're going to try to butter it up and say, hey, look, this is why you need to play it on Series X, because you're going to get these benefits. Whereas if you play it on the One X or the other platforms, you're not going to really get like the full graphic fidelity or just everything that the game has to offer. Now, here's the thing.
But another thing that Microsoft doesn't mention is that you can take their game from Game Pass PC, and then you can download mods for it, or you can create your mods for it and stuff like that, and make the game even more expanded than what the Xbox could ever do. So you got more abilities with a PC than you do with the Xbox Series X.
Yeah. And here's the thing now. Let's get to this other topic. And I think everybody should have something on this one. So Phil Spencer, recently he was with Game Lab, and, he was talking to this journalist, and, he was just asking him a bunch of questions, about the July event and about the PlayStation 5 reveal. And he was just like, yeah, Sony did pretty good with the PS5 reveal. He saw everything, and he sent Jim Ryan a message saying, hey, you know what, great job on everything. And, he's saying that because of the power of the Series X and the games that they're going to have, they're going to basically, in other words, destroy Sony with the launch lineup of games, with stuff that they're going to reveal, in July, and the power of the Series X. That's going to be their advantage over, the PS5. And when asked about the games, right, like any new games that he's willing to talk about, he brought up Flight Simulator. I said, Jesus Christ, Phil, really? Flight Simulator and Gears Tactics. And I'm like, I thought this man was going to say, okay, I can only talk about one game, and it bothers me and it worries me, because it's like, bro, there's no hype for this July event. When we found out about the PS5 event and we knew when it was going to be, everybody was freaking excited, because we didn't know what the console looked like, and we really don't know, like, all the other secrets that we've been hearing that the PS5 is, capable of, as well as games, right? So there was more hype for that, more than this whole July event. So I'm like, okay, is he gonna talk about, something to get us hyped? So the guy asked him about Halo Infinite, and he was like, he started laughing. I was like, okay, are you gonna talk about Halo Infinite? He jumped over that and started talking about something else. I'm like, okay, so you're not talking about Halo Infinite. And it pisses me off, because it's like, bro, like, you had a 6 months head start. 6 months head start of the competition, and you could have You could have shown a developer, show somebody at 343 with a controller sitting down for 10 minutes playing freaking Halo, or when you did that whole big media blowout with Austin Evans and Digital Foundry, you could have had Halo playing. You see what I'm saying? For 10, 15, or 20 minutes, just showing, getting people hype for the system. You know what I'm saying? So like Ryan, like you said, there's so much freaking pressure on this game. And at the same, it worries me because it's like, bro, we haven't seen a darn thing. Last year,
you know what's funny? More people are talking about Cyberpunk right now than talking about
hey, you know what's even funnier? You know what's even funnier? At their 2019 E3 press conference, that was the highlight reel. And I would tell people all the time, Keanu Reeves, Keanu Reeves and Cyberpunk was the highlight reel. You can't have a third-party game being the highlight reel of your entire conference. And then what pissed me off with the interview is that he was like, well, moving forward, how are you going to stack up against the competition with your first party lineup? And he was like, well, you know, we have 15 new studios and the team has been working extremely hard. And he asked him about the whole July event as well. Like, how is that going? Oh yeah, the team is working very hard on that one. And trust me, people are going to be blown away. It's like, Phil, like we've been hearing this same old song for years. You've been lying to us. You've been lying to us over and over again. Last year, you said the same darn thing. Oh, we have 10 studios. We got 12 studios. Okay, where was the studio work? All you did was show a bunch of trailers. They had a chance to show Halo Infinite last year. They gave us a freaking in-game engine trailer, just like what they did with Hellblade 2. So don't sit here and give us the same bullcrap lies. Like, bro, I was so heated. I was like, okay. And every question, bro, he was stuttering. I'm like, answer the freaking question. Like, he's like, like he's stuttering, bro.
He's still stuck on load screens. That's the problem.
Bro, it blows my mind because I'm like, bro, why is it taking you so? And if you're excited about a console launch, if you're excited about the games, show it. Be more enthusiastic. And it goes to show during that same interview that Microsoft's main focus is not console gaming. Their main focus is the cloud. Project X Cloud and Play Anywhere. Because when the interviewer asked him, he was like, yeah, you know, our goal is to be able to play anywhere. You know, not just on console or PC, but anywhere at all. And the mind-blowing thing is the interviewer brought up that question like, okay, remember that that whole thing that you said that Nintendo and Sony is not your main competitors. It's actually Google, Amazon, and Apple. And he started laughing about that. He was like, yeah, I know that made a little bit of ripple effect, but you know, just honestly, I think, you know, after we made that statement, you know, Nintendo and Sony really is our competition. I'm like, wow. So
he backtracked again.
Yeah, he backtracked again. I'm like, which one is it, Phil?
I thought you know, Google and services like that were your competition. Now,
dude, Phil Spencer needs to be called King Flip Flop, dude, because everything he says, eventually it will go back on itself. Like everything he sells, he says, "Oh, okay, we're not trying to do exclusives, or we're not trying to exclusives are anti-consumer." Then they cut an exclusive deal or a timed exclusive, and then he talks about VR, high fidelity VR on the Xbox One X, and then that's canceled. He pretends like he didn't talk about it, and it's just like during this interview, I listened to him, and he's already lowering expectations for the Xbox Series X. Man, I joked about it on Twitter, but if you read his comments, he said he was talking about like the difference in graphical, you know, like the visual differences that people will actually see. And he's like, well, to some, it's going to be hard, and that might be depressing for some. And then he went off into some other damage control, and I was like, dude, he's already trying to set lower expectations for people for the higher powered console for the 12 teraflops and all this other stuff. It's like he's already doing what they did before. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
It's nothing new, man.
You know, they claim 12.1 teraflops of power. It's not 12.1 teraflops of graphic. There's a difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Please explain it to them. Please explain it.
Okay. The simple thing is, if you look at the hardware builds between the systems, Sony, with their audio, they made the Tempest engine built out of RDNA 2 cores. So it's going to be naturally ray traced audio, 3D HRFT audio. So you're going to get that from the PlayStation, completely offloaded from the CPU and GPU to the audio chip. All right. Okay, on the Xbox Series X, on the other hand, it has a 3D Atmos audio chip, but they're advertising 3D ray trace spatial audio. All right, so where are they going to get the ray trace from if there's no ray trace built in the audio chip?
Lord.
There's only one component on the system that's got RDNA 2 cores, and that's the GPU. The GPU's got to split that RT cores with games and audio to have the 3D spatial ray traced audio. So it's not going to have 12.1 T-flops of graphics. It's going to have 12.1 T-flops of power that's split between audio and graphic. All right. So you got to look at that aspect of it. And then you got to look at what is their GPU doing? Well, Sony took the geometry off and the mesh shading and stuff like that and simple shaders, and they put it on the geometry engine, and it'll work in tandem with the GPU for variable rate shade. Whereas on the Xbox Series X, they got to do it all on GPU. So that's going to lower its power coefficient compared to what the PS. So, you know, the graphics are going to be extremely similar between the two just because of the way the hardware works. And, you know, it's like the Corvus devs. The devs from the game Corvus, they sit there and said, look, you can have the consoles with high T-flops, stuff like that. But if your firmware and your software won't let you use the entire amount, it's of no use. So they're talking about the Xbox Series X there. You know, you have the software that wants to use this power, but the firmware and the software won't let you do it because the GPU is split. You know, and then you've also got the split RAM where Sony's is unified and everything else. So, you know, that's a lot of stuff that Spencer is dodging from. You know, and I guarantee you when this July show comes up for Xbox, not only are they going to show the Halo game, they're also going to showcase Minecraft again, because they have to justify
Jesus,
that.
No.
Out there.
They have to justify that $2.6 billion purchase from Notch for the Minecraft game. So they're putting a lot of Minecraft. Halo is not their number one game. It's not their cash cow. It is not their crowning pinnacle. It is not
it's Minecraft.
The shining. Minecraft is, because they spent $2.6 billion on that game, and they've been in development with that game. The game's been in development for 10 years, going on to 11 now, and they just released a major update and stuff like that for Minecraft that took them almost a year to make, and now they've got another major update that's about to come out later on this year and stuff like that. So they're focusing on Minecraft more than anything. Halo Infinite is going to be a great system seller if, you know, it's got a time exclusive for the Xbox Series X, but they're not going to do that. It's going to be PC day and date. So, you know, it's not going to sell the console, but the game is going to sell, but it's not really going to sell that well because people are just going to play for $10 off of Game Pass. So, I mean, you know, it's a game. You know, whereas you got Sony doing all these exclusives to sell their console, but nothing to sell the Series X. So he's not focusing on Series X. He's trying to damage control. He's trying to dodge. He's dodging hardware questions and everything else like that. So I mean, you know, he's just on nothing but damage control right now.
So real quick,
yes.
What about the whole Lockhart situation? Because Booty said there's you know, there's not going to be true next gen exclusives, quote unquote, for a couple years. But the thing that people fail to realize is, since they're coming out with this Lockhart and it has lower specs, I don't care if it's similar with CPU and stuff like that. 1/3 the GPU, the Series X, right? Lower RAM, 7.5 gigs compared to 13.5. That's usable RAM. The thing that people fail to realize when you're doing, because they talk about scalability, and I get scalability, right? Res, frame rates, all that other stuff. But when you're talking about game development, I've talked to multiple developers that know what they're talking about. It's not these dudes that just make this shit up, right? When you have to plan for the lowest common denominator, which right now would be the Xbox One Fat, And there's been plenty of examples of developers just said, hey, we have to leave behind this generation already, like with the new Resident Evil. They can't even put that on the PlayStation 4. They just cut it out. They said it's not going to cut it for our vision. So what people fail to see here is, so they're going to be supporting that FAT, the Xbox One FAT, that is less powerful than the PS4 for a couple years, which means all these games that are being planned out have to be gimped and scoped for next gen, right, to fit that. Once they phase those out, which they will eventually, then you have to go with the Lockhart, which is going to be gimped the rest of the generation. So that will be the lowest common denominator. Whether, you know, whereas PlayStation 5 is just going with straight next gen. So that's the problem here, because the entire gen is going to be gimped. It is what it is, like scope of the games, you know?
Yeah, and that's what Matt Booty talked about, is that, you know, the game, he already set the bar already for everyone, and he said that he don't want people that are going to be excited for Series X at launch to think that they're going to be getting 60 to 70 hours worth of experience. They're going to be AA games that they're trying to scope into AAA experiences. And so, exactly. And so my whole thing is this is not our first rodeo hearing about all these studio acquisitions. The problem is that now that you're saying that everything that's going to be playable on Series X will be on the lowest common denominator, which is the old VCR box from 2013. And that's a problem, considering that all these newly developed third-party games, developers are already complaining, saying that they got to develop for PS4 and Xbox One in mind. And look at Resident Evil 8, just like Salty just said, they're already running into issues with texture problems, load-in problems, all different type of stuff. So that's going to be a big blow to Microsoft if they continue having that whole VCR box in mind, because developers don't want to have to keep, okay, man, dang, we got a code for this one too. We got a code for this one. We got a code for that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should just be, okay, strictly just for Series X. You know what I'm saying? Like, Halo Infinite should just be for Series X. I'm like, it's not that hard. And when Jim Ryan came out and said, hey, look, you know what? If it's a PS5 game developed for PS5, it's only going to be on PS5. You cannot play this game nowhere else. And everybody was calling out Sony for that. Oh, that is stupid. What about PS4? And I'm like, y'all missing the point. Y'all missing the point, you know? And so I feel like Messina is right about what she said regarding Phil. I think that whole interview, I think he was just dancing around the fire, because the guy had some bold questions for him. And I really wanted to get excited for the Series X, man. And everything that Phil was saying was stuff that I already heard from years ago. Oh, you just wait and see what we have in July. It's gonna blow people away. Same thing you said in 2019. This whole Inside Xbox, he said that it's gonna be bigger and better from a production standpoint when it comes to the presentation, because Sony blew it out of the water for everything that's going on in the world right now. And Sony was able to put together a show like that, well edited. I mean, bruh, it was just amazing to see Sony put together a presentation like that. And I'm like, Microsoft got more money than Sony. Why is it that you have your marketing guy with a popcorn webcam? Looks fuzzy, you know what I'm saying? And just the whole thing, the whole presentation was sloppy. You know what I'm saying? And there was no true representation of Series X, like somebody actually holding the controller and playing the games. And that's what bothers me, is that, yes, we have to wait till July. And that's what every Xbox hardcore fan is saying. Oh, Marlon, you need to wait till July. I'm tired of freaking waiting. I'm sick and tired of waiting. Well, I need to see the games.
Look at what he's, you gotta look at what he's not saying as well. Okay, you gotta look at his whole thing is, well, we're going to play anywhere. You know, we're going to have crossplay. We're going to have cloud. We're going to have, you know, Game Pass and all this type of stuff. But you got to look at what he's not saying about that. Okay, well, you got Game Pass where you can play anywhere and Game Cloud, and they're going to be pretty much the same service. But you're programming for Android. You're programming for iOS. You're programming for Intel CPUs. Programming for AMD CPUs. Programming for Intel video cards. GeForce video cards, Radeon video cards, stuff like that. Not to mention the off-market Japanese ones that they have out there. Then you have all these different laptop technologies that they have, and you got to program for all that inside of an Xbox game, where Sony only has to program for 5.
Everybody there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Yep.
everybody just went silent.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
good?
don't know what,
I
what
can't hear
happened.
y'all.
You gonna eat your cornbread? What's going on?
Can't hear y'all.
I hear ya.
I can hear y'all.
So I mean, I didn't mean that as a mic drop moment, but
Mic
you know,
drop.
Yeah, I thought the internet like cut off where I was, and I was like, wait, what's
Yeah,
going
that's what I
on?
thought too. I was like, wait.
That was
I didn't want to say nothing if somebody was talking. I was like,
exactly. Like Marlon dip. Did Marlon dip? I don't hear Marlon talking.
It sounded like Marlon's mic dropped or something happened. to his mic.
Did y'all hear me?
There you go. There you go.
Did y'all hear me?
There
Marlon there was like mic drop.
Mic drop.
I dropped the mic.
Yeah, you know, it's
That
just
awkward
one of
sound.
those things, man. Like I said, I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing the same crap over and over again, and it's like the same thing. We just keep getting let down, just every single time, you know. And so my whole thing is this, okay? Because he gave out one key thing that we can expect, you know, at the July event, and he said Halo Infinite is going to have a heavy presence there. And we already know that. I mean, Phil, come on. That's pretty obvious, right? You're going to show maybe 30 minutes, you know, of Halo Infinite because you owe us to that. You owe us that. You know, you're going to show us multiplayer. You're going to show us like the modes or the single player, what have you. That's what we were hearing. At least that's what the latest rumor that we got was. They're going to show single player, multiplayer, co-op, and all of that stuff. So we got that part down. What about these 15 new studios? Like, that's what I care about right now. I don't really care so much. We already know about Halo. We already achieved that already. What's up with these 15 games? Because apparently Fable
Like
is going to
April
be
Fools.
there. Yeah. Apparently Fable is going to be there. We know
It's trash
Forza.
too.
that'll raise the market for me in terms of trying to get an Xbox Series X. If it's only playable on Xbox Series X,
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, okay, throw in the Fable collection, you know, on the Game Pass, you know. Now I've got 2 different things other than Halo, really, to go and get it.
Yeah. And the new game from Obsidian. What was it again? And Everwild, Elden Ring, supposed to be there. What else? Like, everybody's saying a new Banjo, not gonna happen. Please lower the expectation.
They definitely need to start milking those IPs that they're just sitting on. It's like, why are you guys sitting on these IPs that make sense for you guys to use?
It's gonna come out with Sea of Trash too. You already know it.
And Killer Instinct, bring back Joanna Dark. We need to see Joanna. You know, what's up Perfect Dark? You know what I'm saying? Like,
if they remade the 64 one from the jump, man, I'd be like, hey.
And new Killer Instinct.
yeah, and
Killer
supposedly
needs to happen, but
yeah,
proper.
they need to bring that back. And supposedly, what was that game? I was hearing, not Splinter Cell. It was some type of new game that they're actually working on or what have you. But the point is, you know, they have to really come hard, and I do believe that Phil knows that he has to come hard, because Jim Ryan came out and said, y'all sitting here running y'all mouths thinking that was it, what we showed you guys. He was like, bro, we haven't even showed the rest of the games that's in development. I'm telling you, Phil is gonna come hard. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
Phil is gonna
that's
come
the
hard in
radio future.
July.
Shit.
He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
come
right now.
real hard in July.
So tell
But
us.
in August, put him in a coffin.
Wait until July.
Oh, that's a
You
shirt
know what they
coming
need
out.
though? I know one thing's for sure though. Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be make or break, right? So y'all need to check on Baron.
Oh
Dude, so
Lord, oh Lord, he gonna go through some more tables.
he been quiet.
Barry gets what do you want?
I saw him talk about the PlayStation 5 Live reveal and everything like that. He was like, "Oh, that was lackluster." I'm like, Mario's cape needs to go across your face like 3 times.
Man, look. At the end,
tables. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
at the end of the day, Microsoft needs to make sure that their July event is like their best event of all time. I mean, because they don't have any choice. Now that you gave us that crappy Inside Xbox, now you put so much strain on yourself, so much pressure on yourself. So now you got to come even 10 times harder now and blow us all away, because honestly, this is it for me. Like if they flop in July, that's it. I'm done with them. You know, because look, they lied. Okay, here's another lie.
A lie.
It's a lie after a lie after a lie. They said that Xbox 2020, right, was going to be an event that they're going to be showing us something every single month. Okay, what about June? We just going to let June just float under the carpet like I'm stupid, like I don't know that you said something that's going to happen every month? A whole month. You had the whole month of June. You could have showed something. You could have showed us the Lockhart. We know it exists now. We know it's in the development kit, you know what I'm saying, for the Series X. We know that Lockhart exists. You could have talked about that. You could have showed something in June. June went by. We didn't get a single news about Xbox 2020.
Do you think they'll show the price point for Lockhart then, just to like take a jab at Sony?
I think it's possible.
I think because think about, okay, well, you guys showed a digital, right? I'm like, okay, well, we got our price point for ours. What you got, type of thing, you know? Maybe.
Yeah. We got a super chat from Andrew Wilkins, says, "Don't matter if Xbox has a great show. Didn't Scalebound and QB look great at their E3 and how those games turn out? Xbox been trash since 2010. Thank you so much for the $5. I mean, the reason why I say they got to go all out this time around is because, bruh, their back is against the wall, and I do firmly believe that this is their last console. I think after this, their main thing is going to be xCloud and Game Pass moving forward.
He's going to pack it up.
He said, "Pack it up."
Man, pack your suitcase. Pack your suitcase and get ready, because you're not.
Hey, you either pack it up at this point, you flush it. I'm just saying.
Real talk. They need to like come out with some like jaw-dropping exclusive. Get something that Sony doesn't have access to right now that everybody wants to see again. They got to do something unheard of right now, because
real talk. And during the interview, Phil, he looked very nervous, and it's like, bruh, like, come on, you already know Jim Ryan is a fierce competitor. You think this man is gonna roll over, let y'all dominate in July, and then August, Sony's just gonna be like, oh, okay, we're not gonna go hard. Trust me, Sony always goes freaking hard. They learned their lesson from PS3, bruh.
Reveal. Jim Ryan. What did Jim Ryan say? Oh, we'll let our games do the talking. So let's go.
There you go. There you
go. I was like, woo.
There you go.
That was like a straight jab. He didn't say nothing about specs. He didn't say nothing about an SSD speed. This man said our games do the talking.
Yeah, and that's all you need to, and that's all I want to see in July, Ryan and Salty. That's all I want to see.
And you want to know something crazy? I think they set that up beautifully, because they had the tech presentation like months before, so you don't even need to really have this presentation talk about it again. They went into full dev talk. So if you wanted to watch that, you can go back and watch that. We go into detail on that. Now we're about to just show you straight games.
Yeah, real talk. You know, and that's why I was saying, man, at the end of the day, you have to give Xbox fans, you have to give gamers, people that don't have an Xbox, a reason to buy a Series X, because obviously you're saying that, oh, okay, Nintendo and Sony is not your main competition, but you have a console. So that right there, I'm like, you're contradicting yourself when you say that they're not your main competition. Then why are you coming out with a new hardware? the One X was supposed to be the last one, but somehow they decided, oh, you know what, we're gonna come out with a new hardware. And right now, Nintendo themselves right now is gonna crush Microsoft, because according to Furukawa, he said that everything is on track for 2020. People don't realize that Nintendo might be silent right now, and really a lot of stuff going on. But trust me, when we get a full-fledged direct,
Nintendo, Nintendo just milli rocking in the back. Like, just imagine all of them in a room together. It's Sony and Microsoft arguing. Nintendo in the back just milli rocking, man. They just chill. They ain't got no care in the world.
They got on the back burner, right? It's that Switch Pro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And they're not even
legit. That's happening.
And they're not even done talking about like the other games they got coming out, like
Metroid,
I'm just proud.
Zelda.
Look, I'm proud. Look, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of Nintendo just like putting their foot down and saying, you know what, we're gonna put Paper Mario up against Ghost of Tsushima and see how it does. I mean, they ain't gonna hurt us anyway. We just want to see how it does. This is some cute stuff with
As of right now, I have like 0%, like motivation to get an Xbox Series X. Like, there's literally no need for me to get an Xbox Series X right now. Like, Microsoft hasn't showed me not one thing,
nothing to get you hyped
this whole year.
Yeah.
It's gonna get me hyped for the Series X. Like, they showed off Hellblade, which is a third-party game. You already know that's gonna be on PS5.
No, it's gonna be on PC.
But still.
The thing is with Microsoft, they treat PC better than Xbox players, because Gears Tactics is pretty much a PC exclusive, a timed exclusive until it goes to their platform. You don't have to pay for online. I mean,
until July.
Microsoft is a PC company.
The good developers that they acquired, all their shit's multiplat. I mean, Obsidian had Outer Worlds, that was multiplat,
Yeah.
It's just like
sad, man.
Sony waited to do an acquisition, right? Studio, because it was like Xbox acquiring all these studios, and then Sony does one acquisition and just takes a blowtorch to everything. Because Insomniac's better than anything they acquired, right? Because you're looking at the stuff that they're going to be putting out there. It's just the studios that they have. It's like they're either unproven or it's kind of like meh, you know what I'm saying? Because like Obsidian, is pretty good. They did the Outer Worlds, but that's multiplat. Will it stay multiplat? Well, Microsoft has shown if it makes them money, they'll keep it multiplat, right? So they could have made Minecraft exclusive if they wanted to, but they kept that multiplat. Minecraft Dungeons multiplat, So anything that's really good, it tends to be multiplat on that system, and it's already on PC. So it's like, what's driving you to get an Xbox? Like for PC, for PlayStation games, we got The Last of Us 2, right? That looked next gen already. It's crazy looking. It's insane. And then we have Ghost of Tsushima, and that's just to end the generation. So where's that on Xbox? Like
Gears 5. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And it blows my mind, which leads me into the next topic that I think we're all gonna chime in on, which is, it's kind of confusing, but we know Jason Ronald, the chief engineer behind the Series X, right? He talked about the optimization for Series X, optimized games for Series X, right? And there's like 3 different buckets to it. And it's crazy because games, obviously, that's optimized for Series X, like Halo Infinite and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is going to take full advantage of the Series X, right? And then you're gonna have those games like Gears 5 and stuff that is not going to really look next gen, but they're going to take advantage of the hardware. Developers are gonna find a way to patch them, or or the Series X, being that it's so powerful, it will be able to kind of up-res those games. And I'm like, okay, all of that's cool. And then with the backwards compatibility, where it's gonna take an old game from 10 years ago that's at 480p, or 720p, it's gonna up-res the resolution, but it's not gonna change all the bugs and glitches to keep everything original. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me the only thing I've been hearing people saying right now for them to buy a Series X is backwards compatibility. Like there's like, man, that's kind of dope. That I can play older Xbox games from 2001. You know what I'm saying? And be able to play those at a higher resolution. And I'm like, bro, like really? Backwards compatibility?
So you're making prettier versions of trash is what you're doing, basically.
I mean,
that's why I'm not even gonna comment.
I mean, you're clearing off the dirty glasses
and smearing
so
back.
You couldn't see the trash at first. Now you can see it with clearer glasses.
Yeah, man, I'm like, bruh, if this is all.
Bro, have you guys heard the phrase "you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit"?
Oh my god!
Rest in peace to that.
So what do you guys think about the Xbox? What do you guys think about the whole Xbox Series X optimized games? Like what Jason Ronald was talking about.
If it ain't 60 FPS with all this power shit they're talking about, we got problems. So I
think I'm just gonna be able to see clearer like views of frame tearing. Like that might be what that is. Like there's bugs on the original release of the game, and they're just high resolution in it. That means, okay, so I get to see everything in 4K.
Oh my god! So you're playing the original Halo in 4K 60.
I'm playing the trash in 4K on my TV.
I'll say this. I can't wait to play Sea of Trash on 4K.
I mean, it's ridiculous, bro. Like seriously, I mean, if you're gonna buy a Series X because it can up-res stuff from the original Xbox 360 and Xbox One games, which ran terribly back in 2013. We're talking about some resolutions that I didn't even thought possible. 900p and freaking what's it, 600p,
like 782p or some shit.
Yeah, like some ridiculous things. So I'm guessing the Series X is going to, you know, basically make those games look prettier, according to Jason Ronald. Like, oh, he was saying like Rise, Son of Rome, for instance, you know, it's going to be 4K 60. It's going to take advantage of the ray tracing. See, Xbox guys, they want to hear stuff like, oh, well, what's up with the PS5? Sony is quiet on the backwards compatibility. Slow down, Kyle. Slow down.
He's like, slow down.
You know what I'm saying? Like Sony still haven't even talked fully about backwards compatibility, but all of you guys are saying, oh, you guys should be worried about backwards compatibility on PS5 because at least with the Series X, it's going to be optimizing the older games. I'm like, okay.
I think Xbox should be worried. They're gonna be playing. There's a possibility they might be playing old games for like 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
And I mean, because here's the thing. Like I said, after the 2 years, it's gonna be already and this is why I said that the PS5 is gonna outsell, you know what I'm saying, the Series X, because that 2-year window for Sony, it's gonna be so many games, so many AAA first-party games that are gonna be coming out. You got Horizon Forbidden West that's gonna come out within the first 6 months of the launch of the PS5. I think that's coming out early next year or something. And then you got Spider-Man 2, according to the guy from IGN. He said that Spider-Man 2, from what he was hearing, is coming out fall of next year. Bro, that's all within the first freaking year of the PlayStation 5, let alone year 2. We're talking about, I'm not gonna say God of War, but you're talking about Days Gone 2. You're talking about other games that could be potentially bruh. I'm telling you, this is what I'm talking about. And then, what's his name? Michael Pachter said that, bruh, you already know.
I don't think anything Pachter says serious.
He's wishy-washy, you know what I'm saying, on a lot of things. But one good thing that he did say was that, you know, you can clearly see Sony going to dominate Microsoft with first-party titles within the first 2 years, first 2 to 3 years. And it's real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's common sense, man. It's really common sense. Now, here's a question now. We talked about the optimization for Xbox and everything. Now, people want to sit here and talk about optimization for PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 games. Did you guys heard about this? Ghost of Tsushima. Buckle up, boys. Ghost of Tsushima for PS4 will also run in boost mode on PS5. Yeah. So that is gonna look incredible. Did y'all hear that Shuya Yoshida was playing Ghost of Tsushima on PS5 and his jaw was on the floor? Did y'all hear that? And people want to sit here and talk about optimizations for older games on PS5, saying that, oh, the Series X is gonna run all over it because it has the extra hardware capabilities. Yeah, okay.
I'll say it's gonna be like something totally different in the PS4 games on the PS5. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm gonna try to save some of the PS4 games that I didn't get and get it on the PS5 just to see the difference in the resolution and everything. Like,
and then the SSD also is gonna play a huge role, you know, with those PS4 games. You know, games like God of War, you already know that's gonna benefit from PS5. All the first party stuff is gonna benefit from PS5. They just talked about Ghost of Tsushima, you know, being one of those games that's gonna take advantage of the boost mode on the PS5, which is going to be extraordinary. And we also got information about RDNA 3 and Zen 3 capabilities on the PlayStation 5. Crazy stuff that we're hearing about PS5, you know, and there's a lot of things. Even I think this was a engineer for Sony came out and said that there's a lot of things about PlayStation 5 that we still don't know. This console is still mysterious. We see what it looks like, but we don't know every single thing about it. You know what I'm saying? And to hear that it has the capability of RDNA 3 and Zen 3 CPU capabilities, man, that's just let that sink in. Let that sink in. You know what I'm saying? Also, Last of Us 2, once again, playable on PS5, will use the PS5 boost mode for enhanced performance. Last of Us 2 already looked insane on PS4 Pro and run the system like in the ground. I'm talking about the thing sound like a jet engine getting ready to take off. And just to hear that it's going to take advantage of PS5 in the boost mode, bro, that's going to be insane, man. I mean, people need to wake up and realize that, yes, Microsoft is doing everything that they can to optimize Xbox One games, original Xbox, and 360 games, but look at what Sony is doing. Look at what Sony is doing as well. People are not giving Sony credit. Thank you so much, Star Guardian 88 with the $5 says public perception is also a big factor as well. The marketing for the Xbox Series X will be undoubtedly confusing for the general consumer overall. Facts, of course, because it's like, bruh, you're talking about Xbox Series X, right? And then you're saying that everything that's going to be made for Xbox Series X is going to be playable on every single Xbox One console, including PC. That is freaking confusing, because then people are going to be sitting here like, okay, why the heck am I in this rush or need to buy a Series X when I can play it on my VCR box, my door stopper from 2013? It's like, what's the freaking point here? You know? And so it's you're right. It's very, very consuming. Thank you so much for the $5. I mean, it is. And so what do you guys think about these PS4 games running in boost mode on PlayStation 5 with better visual and performance? What do you guys think about that? You guys think that's a win for you guys playing those PS4 games
definitely
like Spider-Man?
It's going to use that machine learning.
Dub.
Wow. Wow. Somebody said Halo Infinite won't sell 500K because it's in Game Pass. Let me tell you something. Game Pass is Microsoft's new cash cow. You know what I'm saying? They're going to push Game Pass till they can't push it no more. Game Pass, Xbox All Access, where you can sign up for 2 years for a Series X, right? Let's say you can't afford the $500 price tag or however how much it's going to be. Just like a cell phone, you sign up for 2 years, sign your life away, and then you pay, what, $30 a month or something like that. You get 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate, right? Which gives you gold. It gives you PC capabilities so you can play on PC as well. And of course, you got your regular Game Pass there for a lot of people, that screams value. So they're going to sign up for that, you know, $30 a month program, and they're going to get the Series X. That's what a lot of people are going to do. Now, the incentive that Phil talked about was if you have an X, right, and you're trying to upgrade to the Series X, your payment is going to be less, or you might not pay anything depending on the situation. And so a lot of people is kind of getting excited about that. But my whole thing is this, like, okay, we have all these third-party publishers and, of course, Microsoft's first-party studios that are really pushing hard with Game Pass. And yes, we get Game Pass, but beyond Game Pass, what else does Microsoft have right now that's even worth to get excited about or talking about? Definitely not the Series X, because we already established hardware. We still don't even know anything about their controller. Now, here's my thing. When it comes to, and this is where I know Salty compared apples to apples earlier, but I'm going to sit here and compare apples with a spoiled orange, because here's the spoiled orange now. The spoiled orange is Microsoft is giving you, yes, a unique ATX tower design, right? Which is cool, but the controller looks the same, just one new button in the middle. We still don't really know much about it. And we also know that the UI is going to be the same as the Xbox One. When you're buying a next generation console, you want to feel like you're buying something new altogether. The new UI, new console design, new freaking controller. Look at Sony now. Now let's compare the Apple now of this competition. Sony's giving you a futuristic design, okay? A design that we've never seen from Sony before. We're also getting better internals, a better fan, right? We know so much more about the PS5 than we do about Series X, right? In some sort of way. And here's the other thing. The controller is so revolutionary. The controller is going to change the way how we play games forever with a traditional controller. Sony is the first to do that. Yes, you can say, oh, the Wii. Yeah, Nintendo did that with the Wii with those motion controls and everything, but I'm talking about a traditional quote unquote controller. Sony is the first to do that because, bruh, you have so much freaking features built into that controller. It's insane. The DualSense is going to take your sense to a whole nother level, your feeling to a whole nother level, and your hearing to a whole nother level. That's why they said DualSense, and people was laughing, oh, DualSense, that don't even make sense. Yes, it does. Because it's going to enhance your senses to a whole nother level. It's going to bring you in with the 3D audio, with how you feel, how you think, how you hear. It's going to be a whole different experience. And people quick, oh, you're a fanboy. No, look at the blueprint. Look at what Sony is trying to do. Look at the patents. One of the patents that I talked about on yesterday's show, which blow everybody away, was the fact that you can be playing a game and pull up somebody's stream at the same time on the PS5. And then you have the picture-in-picture capabilities as well. So I could be playing and I'm looking at Salty's stream, or I'm looking at Ryan's RGT podcast, and I'm like, what's up, Ryan? And I'm over here playing Horizon Forbidden West. Amazing. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? So Sony, once again, is trying to find so many innovative ways to push this next generation console to a whole nother level. It's easy. I ask everybody in the chat, what system are you more excited for? Automatic PS5. Because Sony is pushing innovation this time around to a whole nother level. Not just with the console, but with the controller, the headset, the whole 3D audio. Look at this. The developers of Godfall said that when you're playing Godfall, the armor, like you can feel the heaviness of the freaking armor, dude, in the DualSense controller. You can feel the weight. You can also feel when you slide on the ground. You can feel that in the freaking controller. When you're playing Gran Turismo 7, you can feel when you're on the track, when you're on the asphalt, you can feel that. When you slide off, when you hydroplane, you can feel that. You're not hearing any of that talk with Series X, right? And that's what I'm saying. I'm not freaking hyped. Even with the SSD, we just now hearing they're praising the SSD. Phil was talking about SSD and how it's going to help them change game development and everything like that. There's not a lot of praises for the Series X. Now, we just learned that it's easy to develop for, which is good. And that can give developers a chance to better utilize that extra horsepower onto the Series X. But let's come on, guys. You gotta realize the apple between the rotten grape here. It's like it's night and day. It's a night and day difference. It has nothing to do with being a fanboy. It's night and day difference when you're stacking up both consoles. The little that we know about PS5 and the little that we know about Series X, there's a clear winner there. As far as innovation, as far as value, right? There's better value with the PlayStation 5. Because you're getting better technology, you're getting a brand new altogether UI, right? Come on, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Microsoft got all this money, but yet still we have a lackluster console. From 2013, we had a lackluster console, and now we still preaching the same gospel with power. Okay, how are you going to utilize that power to make gamers happy? So let me ask you, and if I'm wrong about everything that I just said, hey, Marlon, call me out. Say, hey, man, you're wrong about what you said, bro. Like, what you said didn't make sense. Because honestly, if I'm picking up a controller and I can feel the weight, like let's say, for instance, I'm playing Need for Speed or something, like the next Need for Speed, and I'm adding all these stuff into my car. I'm adding turbo. I'm adding a new engine block. I'm adding tires, rims, a heavy body kit. You can feel that difference versus how the car was before while you're actually playing with the DualSense.
So Marlon, I want to piggyback off of that. So the reason why you're saying what you're saying is it's the two approaches of the companies, you know? It's been clear. I think the Series X should just be called the mid-gen refresh 2.0, or you know what I'm saying? Because everything that they've done and the messaging that they've talked about, Phil Spencer pretty much said, hey, you can upgrade if you want. I mean, it is what it is. We don't care. They haven't changed the UI. The UI is going to be the same. You could use the controllers a little bit different, but you can use other controllers that are from previous gens. No next gen games for 2 years. You know, the list goes on and on, where Sony is going completely, hey, we're committed to next gen. The next gen design of the console even looks like they put more work into it instead of looking like a cinder block or a Nike box or whatever. You can tell that they put more time into that. Even though it's a little bit bigger, it looks futuristic. The controller, the DualSense looks futuristic. Everything screams next gen when you're looking at the PlayStation 5, whereas the Xbox Series X just seems like more of the same. It just looks like a rectangular version of the Xbox One X, and it feels like we're going to get the same exact treatment, because when I purchased an Xbox One X back in the day, right, I was sold on 4K, true 4K gaming, which did not come to pass. How many games actually took advantage of that hardware, right? The 6 teraflops. I mean, one probably comes to the name Gears 5. I think Gears 5 looked good, right? But over that huge amount of time, did they utilize the power with Sea of Thieves or State of Decay 2 or Crackdown 3 or Super Lucky Style? It's like you could have all the power of the world, but you're not utilizing it. So what's the point of this, you know? So
take into account too, and this is Microsoft's curse, they always start off like crazy big with like in the first start of the year of the gen, and like they just die off in the mid, like when it comes to big games. That's been proven time and time again.
They abandoned the One X. That's very apparent to me, because that system still have a lot of power that's being unused under the hood. You see what I'm saying? If Gears 5, you mean to tell me that Gears 5 looks good, but it does not look good to the point where I'm like, oh man, this is like the best game I've seen all generation, bruh. If you stack that up next to Last of Us 2, you're like, oh man, it's almost night and day. It's almost night and day, you know? And it's like, okay, we're talking about a system that has weaker hardware, Salty. The PS4 Pro is weaker than the One X.
it speaks on the power, like the quality of developers, and we all know that Sony has that in spades, right? Sony, Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, the list goes on and on. Even the lower tier studios, if you want to call them that, like Ben's studio, they made their first big AAA IP. You know, they're making Vita games before, and you look at Days Gone, that game's amazing. I put it in my top 4 for this generation, and like the second game in that series is going to blow people away because they're going to be using Unreal Engine 5 with that game. They'll have all the kinks worked out. They got the story mapped out. So even their lower tier games are better than the highest tier games on Xbox. And the problem with it is Halo Infinite was supposed to come out this generation. It was delayed out of this generation, and that's their mainstay for next generation. I have a problem with that because on the PlayStation side, you're eating good. It's like you're getting steak, you're getting shrimp, you're getting lobster. And on the Xbox side, they're feeding you like chicken nuggets or like some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You keep getting that. So it's like,
and salty. Oh,
what's up? It's just it's the dichotomy there, the comparison of the two companies. It's like Sony's ending on a super high note, and then Xbox is just coming in and crash landing into the next generations. Everybody you talk to would say that they almost gave up on the whole generation at 2016 and just coasted for the rest of the gen, right? Because they didn't bring out any new IPs, they didn't do anything special, and if they didn't have Game Pass to fall back on, imagine the narratives that you would be saying. Because everybody, it's in Game Pass, it's okay. Like Bleeding Edge has 30 people on PC all together on Steam playing that dog shit. Now, if Game Pass wasn't part of that narrative, what would you be saying about Xbox right now? Like what? Because everybody says, "Oh, it's a good value because Game Pass is there. I can get it." You know what I'm saying? What if Game Pass wasn't there? It would be ridiculous how bad we would view the company at this point. So it's just, that's what I'm saying. It's just like next gen. Okay, you guys got Halo, but that was supposed to come out this gen. That was supposed to. It's not going to be a next gen title. It's going to be bumped up using the power, but it wasn't developed for next gen. You know what I'm saying?
So that's what Jason Ronald was saying, though. That he said that Halo Infinite is going to be built from the ground up for Series X. It's going to be optimized for Series X. So what do you think about that, Salty?
There's a difference between optimization and designed for next generation. You know what I'm saying? So are they going to use the power of the Series X to optimize and get you high frame rate and resolution peaks and stuff like that? Yeah, that's fine. But was that game developed for next generation? No, it wasn't. And the lowest tier, lowest denominator is the fat Xbox. So, you know what I'm saying? So AI on the screen, or how big the world is, or this and that, they're going to have to account for that in this game. So something will be gimped in Halo Infinite to account for that system. Hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, yeah. Like, basically, I was piggybacking off of what Salty was saying, was talking about like Ben Studio. They picked up their development, like their skills from coming from, handhelds and, smaller projects to PS4. And I actually had the benefit of actually meeting and talking with those people. And they were, not all a part of the same team at one point, but when they all got together to Sony Ben, they were saying that it was actually a lot more seamless with, production time and development time to work for the PlayStation 4. And they were just so blown away with how it turned together, even though there was still some bugs they could identify. They were saying it had like monumental improvements compared to whatever they worked on before. So just imagine how they would deal with a PlayStation 5, where most of the developers that dealt with the PlayStation 5 to this point said it was very easy in their experience to design for the PlayStation 5 with everything that's in that dev kit. So, from my standpoint, I would say that that's a good sign. Even going to their little powwow that they had a week before the Days Gone release, I was able to play it when there was no real, chance for you to play it. And I saw how seamless it was then. I was like, oh, dang, you guys got anything you want to add to it? It's like, we don't have time. But they saw some, stuff they want to fix.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Most definitely. And like I said, man, I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of the brainwashing and stuff. Like I said, it comes down to what's going to happen in July. July is like starting next week, and hopefully we might get some sort of time frame on when this thing is actually going to be going down. But like I said, I try to do the best I could to kind of distinguish both the consoles and kind of let people know, like, hey, this is what you're getting with PlayStation 5. You're getting a brand new system. Sony even spent extra money on the cooling. They spent lavishly on the cooling. They spent lavishly on the PS5 to design the system that way. Everybody's making fun of it and saying, oh, it's big and this. Yeah, I'd rather the system to be big and stay cool and not give us no problems versus something that's smaller and more compact and then it's going to overheat and give us issues. So I don't even care how the console looks. I just want to make sure the games are going to be running fine on it and everything is going to be good from there. Now, let's celebrate Last of Us 2 sales tops over 4 million, I think, in like 3 days. So it definitely surpassed Spider-Man as the #1 selling PlayStation 4 title, fastest selling PlayStation 4 title of all times, which is incredible considering the controversy and everything that's been going on with this game. And I'm really happy for Sony that they were able to accomplish these type of figures at the end of the current generation here and put that whole myth crap that people were saying that, oh, single player games are dead. Yeah, okay. If single player games were dead, then why is it that Last of Us, no multiplayer, is doing over 4 million in 3 days? Come on, man. Come on. People need to wake up and realize what's going on here, and realize that this is Sony's greatest strength when it comes to first-party titles. So it's just, can Microsoft do something like this next generation? That's what I want to ask you guys. Can Microsoft do something like this next generation? And what type of game do you think that they would have to come out with to put up these type of numbers? Because honestly, this whole entire generation, I don't even think anything that Microsoft came out with from 2013 kind of put up these type of numbers in 3 days. So anybody have anything on that?
They got a long way to go for their.
Oh,
With the studios, again, this is me wishful thinking. Even with the new studios that they got, I would hope so, because they got talent from Rockstar, Naughty Dog supposedly, right? And there was a few other developers for that Initiative studio. So, hey, we'll see.
They got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what, Banjo? A new Banjo, maybe? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like I said, they're gonna have to come hard. Go hard or go home. I mean, you got to knock it out the park. You got to give us a reason to get excited about the Xbox brand. If you're not gonna do that, then you might as well just stay out the console race, because once again, Spider-Man did 3.3 million in 3 days. You had Horizon Zero Dawn, I think it was like what, 1 million or something in 3 days. Like, bruh, like, you got all these first party titles that are putting up crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes to show you that, okay, if you look at like monthly sales figures, right, for like a particular month, the last one that I really heard about, because Microsoft, they don't really report on sales numbers anymore. I don't know why, maybe because they're terrible. I don't know why. But the last time we heard anything, right, was Nintendo was sitting at about 14,000 units. This is for just a week. 14,000 units. And then the PlayStation 4 did about 12,000 or something like that in 1 week. And then the Xbox, right? The Xbox One did about 89 freaking units. Oh my God, have mercy. 89 units. Something is wrong there. Something is wrong. 89.
I mean, they're gonna do okay at the start of the gen, right? They'll probably get like a 500,000 when they launch in Japan. You know, first time, and then it's gonna drastically drop. That's kind of always been there. Like it'll go super high and drop super low.
Well, supposedly Phil did his research when it comes to the Japanese market. So, I mean, we will see. You know, we will see. And he has acquired some studios from over there.
Honestly, Phil said that last time when he's like, "Oh yeah, we're not giving up on Japan." And people called him an idiot for even saying that. Like, "Oh, we're not giving up on Japan." It's like some markets. Let's just keep it real. You can't like conquer. You ain't gonna beat Sony in their own home turf. Just like you're not gonna beat Nintendo on their home turf. You know, like Nintendo's what, the king of handhelds. Sony ain't gonna beat them in handhelds. It's like you're not going to be Sony in hardware in Japan. It's not going to happen. Reason why, again, is because of their audience. Like Japan, they love their products. Like they legit just flock to their own stuff. Anything outside is very rare that they'll flock to it.
Okay. And check this out. Y'all didn't hear this about the PS5, right? I covered this in the last edition of the show. They said that this is mind-blowing. Every time you hear stuff about the PS5, man, it's just like, what? Huh? So the Samsung 980 Pro SSD upgrade, right? Which is the Samsung 980 Pro at 6.5 gigabytes per second. That is insane. 5.5 gigs is already enough, already insane, already edging out everything that you can buy right now. Next to the Xbox Series X, 2.4 gigabytes per second, right? So the
Samsung said too, they gotta test a lot of these SSDs too if you want to expand your storage. So you're gonna see a lot of crazy shit. Like I can see them partner with Seagate.
Yeah, and this is with Samsung. So so the Samsung PS5 980 Pro SSD right now is even faster than the SSD that's in the PS5. Right, and this is not official yet. Like, so I'm guessing Sony's gonna have a certified list of SSDs that you will be able to buy for the PS5 once that list goes out. They're recommending people to hold off right now on buying SSDs for PS5 until they put out that certified list or whatnot. But 6.5 gigs per second, bruh. Oh. That is insane, bruh. That is freaking insane. Like, I mean, that is just mind blowing just to even think about. And then, so yeah, these are gonna be like, you know, obviously third party stuff, and then Sony's gonna be selling their first party, you know, SSDs upgrade for the storage for the PS5. So yeah, that's man, it's like the more and more you dig into things about PS5, it's just like, dang, like for real. This is happening, you know. It's like I need to feel that with the Series X. I need to get that same type of feeling, that same type of punch. But unfortunately, you know, it's not working that way for me right now. Now, apparently, Square Enix is saying that they're going to be having some new titles that will be showcased between July and August. Any thoughts on that? Man, I don't know. I would say maybe Final Fantasy Part 2, Final Fantasy 7 Part 2.
That's what I hope. That's one of my favorite game studios. So anytime Square Enix is mentioned, you know, I gotta see. But they could also show more about the project Athia. They could show a little bit more about that and actually have an actual name for it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah, and also somebody was saying Final Fantasy 16. I don't know. Kind of reaching.
That ain't happening.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what these games are going to be. Potentially over the course of July and August, they're going to be showcasing. My guess is that these games are probably going to be shown at maybe Microsoft event, or maybe Sony is probably going to show some of it at their event in August. But you know, it's going to be insane nonetheless.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be insane nonetheless. Let me see what else do we have. Amazon. You can go on Amazon right now and register to get a PlayStation 5 as well. So if people are interested in that, you can go and sign up on Amazon and get yourself on that list to be notified whenever pre-orders are available. And yeah, so I think relatively speaking, at this point, I'm probably gonna go through Best Buy for the pre-order, because I think Best Buy is kind of really firm on pre-orders. But Amazon, I don't know, man. Amazon be janky, be delaying stuff. I mean, even I was supposed to get my my Ellie edition for Last of Us, and I had to end up canceling it because they talking about you're not gonna get it until week after next. I'm like, bruh, so I should sit here and wait till week after next while everybody's playing the game? No way, Jose. I'm not gonna do that, you know. So I think, relatively speaking, if you really want to get your hands on a PS5, I would say go with Best Buy, Target. You could probably go with GameStop, you know what I'm saying? But Walmart too. I think Walmart is pretty firm on pre-orders as well. But try to have a bunch of tabs open. That's all I can tell y'all. And be quick.
That asked me, like, do you think that PS5 will like break the internet with everybody trying to get on and try to get on these web pages, and the minute they say pre-order is available now, boom, everybody is going on these different pages.
Yeah.
That might break it.
Yeah. I think they're going to do something with that. Like, you're going to see a 404 error. You got to refresh real fast before they say we are out.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. You say you're going to do what?
Best Buy.
Best Buy, yeah. I'm going to go with Best Buy, you know, because Best Buy, I feel like, is more genuine.
Everybody's avoiding GameStop, I see. Y'all say.
Man, GameStop be tripping, bro. They the next ones. I can't be bothered.
Hey, my GameStop is one of the best ones. Like, they had one of the best rated stores, like, in my like state. Like, we had a good team that had like some crazy whistleblower issues that got certain people fired, and I'm like, man, they never did me wrong.
The worst GameStop experiences, and never again.
Yeah. Real talk.
I walk in there now, and they like, I don't get hassled because I'm a regular. Like, I've been going there since I was like 10, and I'm 29 now, and they're like, oh yeah, we know who you are. Like, me and Chris, we'll just walk in there.
Oh wow!
Me once I walk in, hey, do you want to pre-order Call of Duty? Hey, but you like this? I'm like, no,
they know exactly what I like.
When I was looking for that collector's edition for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I was like, hey, obviously it was I don't know if this is this dude's first day or whatever, but I guess they just don't check if you actually know what you're talking about, you know, when you apply for these stores now. But I was like, yeah, I want to get my collector's edition for the Spider-Man PS5, right, or PS4. Or I didn't even say PS5. I think I said to Spider-Man, right? He goes, what system?
What? Oh, you need to quit your job. You need to quit your job and find another profession, because you boy. You have no idea. GameStop.
What was your look on your face when he said that? Like, did you like give him like
immediately? I kind of like turned my head. I didn't want to laugh because, you know, I figured maybe it was his first day or something. So I like turned my head because, ironically, outside the window, the sign said Spider-Man PS4.
You should put an Xbox
outline through the window
for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know what to think. I was like, you know, whatever.
Nobody said they hire intelligent people.
So check this out. I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this one. Now, for the Xbox Series S, like I said before, we know that this is real. We know it's going to happen and everything like that. So this was coming from The Verge about the specs of the system. And so it's going to be 7.5 gigabyte of usable RAM, aside the underclocked CPU, and around 4 teraflops of GPU performance. Now, we were getting rumors saying that the price of it is going to be $200, and it's going to be the size of a Amazon Fire Stick, which is insane.
$200 for a Fire Stick, though?
Huh?
$200 for a little Fire Stick?
For a little fire, hey man, big things come in small packages, Ryan. So, and it's gonna be between they're gonna be positioned in the Lockhart resolution between 1080p or a 1440p gaming system. So let me ask you guys this right now. Do you think that this is going to sell well, stacking up to what Sony is doing with their digital edition? Do you think where do you guys think the Lockhart is going to fit in with? Who do you think is going to be buying this? Because before you guys answer that, how they end up finding this out was in the development kit for the Series X. There's a particular mode in there, a Lockhart mode, that allows developers to go into that mode so they can actually develop their games for the S version in mind and what have you. So what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think this is going to sell extremely well? If it is $199 or $299 at the most, what do you guys think?
I see this as a system that, parents will buy for their like 5 or 6 or 7-year-old kid. I don't see it as anything that an adult would buy.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know. Like nowadays, parents just go where the cheapest value is. They ask for the console, they just buy the damn console. Honestly.
Yeah, I feel like
that's what it's gonna be.
I feel like since it's a cheaper, like it's like 200. What the rumor is saying, 200. Like a lot of like parents would buy it for their children, but like besides like in terms of value, I feel like the digital edition PS5, you're literally only getting a digital edition. In terms of the power and specs, it's literally the same thing as the Blu-ray disc drive PS5, right? So I feel like in terms of value, everybody really lean towards in terms of value, digital edition PS5 compared to the Lockhart, which is literally sacrificing all the specs that you're getting from the Series X, but just as a lower price. So I feel like a lot of parents would buy the $200 Lockhart. A lot of real hard gamers would literally use the regular edition. I'm see.
Hey, Marlon, it just got here, by the way.
Oh, what just got here?
The what's the name? It's here.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh man, let's go.
Shipper arrived. Just kidding. The Lockhart. My thoughts on it, like who is this marketed towards? First of all, because if you're trying to tell people that they're going to get the cheap experience, why wouldn't they just go with like the SAD edition or something like that, right? If they don't care about visuals or something like that, or the Xbox One X, I know that that's going to be phased out. It's just if they're targeting this audience for 1440p gaming or 1080p gaming, how do you step it back from the mid-gen refresh of, hey, we have the monster, the true 4K gaming console, and then you're just like, just kidding, next generation, you're going back to 1080p or like you're going to 1440p, which is traditionally like a PC thing. Like how many people in the console space are using monitors or know the difference between 1440p, 1080p, 4K, and all that other crap? I feel like it's not gonna work out too well with the Lockhart system because it's the difference in power, and then you're going back. I think the general consumer out there, they're adopting 4K televisions, and then you're going to tell them, hey, go back to 1440p or 1080p. It just doesn't make sense in my mind,
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying too. It's like, because when I first heard about the Lockhart, I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is an all digital version of the Series X. That makes sense for $100 less. But man, these low last gen specs, I'm like, I just can't see myself wasting my money on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just what's the point? I could just keep my One X, because on paper they say that it's supposed to be more power efficient than the One X. Specs wise, it's supposed to be more powerful in some type of way. I'm like, no, I still got my One X. If I just somehow can't afford the Series X, I'll just keep my One X, because I at least have 2 more years, right, before we can see anything fully built from the ground up for Series X anyway, so you might as well just keep your One X. Like, what's the point of buying that, right? That's how I feel.
Well, with the Series S, it will have the Zen 2 processor in there, which will allow it to do better AI, and it will allow it to run it at higher frame rates, not better resolution because that's graphics card, but it allowed to run higher frame rates. It allowed it to run better AI, better physics, stuff like that, than the One X. Yeah. But as far as graphics go, the One X will beat it in graphics because the One X can do 4K.
Yeah.
But the Series S will be able to utilize the shaders and ray tracing and stuff like that at a lower resolution. So, you know, it'll have the advantage over the One X as far as graphic fidelity, but it's going to be a lower resolution.
Yeah, that's the thing too. They said they're willing to take lower resolutions with Series X just to get like 120 frames.
Yeah.
So again, it's like I don't know, man. Maybe they had to compromise some of these performance modes. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
All that shit they thought like they can give you 4K 120. I don't know.
Oh my God, it's like I said, man. I don't really know how well that's going to perform, but we'll see because you know they're gonna market the crap out of it.
That Zen 2 processor will be able to give you 120 frames per second. It's up to the developers to utilize that and how they optimize their code.
Yeah, facts. And one last question I got for you guys, and I think this is very interesting, right? Because now we just found out, well, not so recently, that the Series X is easy to develop for. So comparing that with the PS5, which we've been hearing from day one, how easy the PS5 is to develop for. And, you know, people from all walks of gaming, even from the Halo camp, from Microsoft camp, praising the PS5, saying, man, it makes game development less of a nightmare compared to what they were experiencing with PS4 and Xbox One. And so now that we know that the Series X is easy to develop for with all the brute force power and capabilities of it, do you guys think that that's going to be an advantage now with the Series X being much more easier?
What developer is saying that?
Well, Phil Spencer said that that it's good. It's easy. The Series X is easy to develop for now, and stuff like that.
Well, if you're developing exclusively for the Series X, yes, it'll be easier to develop for because you only have to worry about one set of hardware. Unfortunately, first-party studios can't do that at Xbox because they had to make it PC day and date. So you have to worry about all the older hardware that you have to program for. So yes, the Xbox Series X might be easier to program for. However, the first-party devs aren't going to experience that ease of development because they're still programming to PC.
Ah, I see. So you're saying if it was just the Series X in mind, then then you can see that. Now, with that in mind, being that it's easy to develop for, right? As far as like the edge graphically, and this is why I tell people like, well, Phil Spencer said that it's not going to be a jump from 2D to 3D, right? When it comes to the differences between the two consoles. I don't know why people think that it's going to be a night and day difference. It's going to be, you probably ain't going to really see it with your naked eye, like the difference, to be honest. So it's like, for people in the beginning, like, oh, that 12T flop, it's like, come on, man. Like, seriously, like, you guys got to stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to see that gigantic difference between the two systems. But overall, like I said before, it comes down to devs and the type of games that we're going to be playing, right? And we know from Sony's side what they're capable of in the studios that they have. So it just comes down to, okay, how are they going to utilize the Series X raw power wise, and will they abandon the Series X like they did with the One X? Because I have a very strong feeling that midway through the gen, like maybe, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years down the line, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm getting that, because This is just how Microsoft's been. They did the same thing with the original Xbox. 360 was an exception, and then Xbox One, obviously we saw what happened with the One X. So I don't know, man. I just don't have that same type of drive and faith in the Series X. Like, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the future goes. I know it's like the most powerful thing, which we've heard from the One X, that it's the most powerful console in the world. That was short-lived, right? From 2017 till what? Basically 2019, because now there's low stocks of the One X, right? And they're not replenishing stock on that. So that console is discontinued altogether. And the One S is also looking like it's going to be discontinued because they're not replenishing stocks on that. Like, there's only a few stores that have, you know, brand new One S's there, which leads me to believe if you're phasing out the One S, that means you're making room for the Lockhart. So I'm guessing the Lockhart is going to take the space of the One S, because both of them for that matter, because the X is phasing out as well. They discontinued the X. So I just don't know what they're doing. It's so confusing. Me just explaining it to you guys is so freaking confusing. It's just like, okay, what are we freaking doing here? You got so many freaking SKUs to deal with, right? So it's kind of like you got the sad edition, which sold horribly. Jesus Christ. Like, what was the point of bringing that out, right? It was the same, basically the One S without a drive. And when you actually tear the system down, it's like, okay, all they did was took the drive out. There was nothing aesthetically different other than just the cover at the top, like, right? So they changed the cover at the top and at the bottom, and then the internals, the guts was all the same. So there was nothing new there. Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't know, guys. I really don't know. It's very confusing to say the least, but I really do appreciate everyone for coming out today. Do you guys have anything else on that? Nah.
At this point, it's like all we heard was a lot of talking. Now it's time for action, and so we'll see. You know, come this July show. Like, I'm really wishing the best, but again, I'm just getting that old feeling that, you know, maybe it's not gonna be like that.
Yeah, I mean, me too, man. You know, Phil, he knows. I give it to Phil. He knows how to get people hype. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, bruh, like, I'm tired of the lies. I see right through the lies. I see right through the fabrication. And so it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm hearing all this talk. I'm hearing that it's going to be exciting. It's going to be better than the last variation of the Inside
moments,
Xbox.
right?
Yeah, mic drop moments is non-stop gameplay. You're gonna copy Jim Ryan's slogan. We're gonna let our games do the talking. So that's what I want to see. But I feel like the first thing they're gonna show, guys, to be honest with y'all, is Halo Infinite. I think that's gonna be the first thing they're gonna show.
And it might be the last thing, just to end it like Sony did with Horizon. It might be the last thing.
It could be the last thing. So what could be the first thing? What, Minecraft?
Minecraft.
Honestly, if they were smart, I would start off with like either gameplay from that game Scorn, if that game has gameplay from, like, they have something shown there, or they might show up Dying Light.
Hellblade. Make me see Hellblade first.
Hellblade was in early development. I don't think you'll get.
Yeah, it probably doesn't have gameplay.
Yeah. I don't think that's gameplay. Yeah, they confirmed that when they first showed it. It was an early development.
What about Project Mara?
Project Mara was also something that was in development.
Ah, come on. So, man, there's no hype.
I think it's going to show off. I think since last year they added the Render Dragon to Minecraft.
Render
Dragon is their new Bedrock game engine. They replaced Bedrock with Render Dragon in order to utilize utilize ray tracing.
Wow.
So I think they're going to try to show that off more with the developments, and they're going to show maybe on console gameplay of that, because everything we've seen so far has been NVIDIA render on a PC. It hasn't been the Xbox Series X on a regular card.
They'll start off with Flight Simulator to blow everybody's minds.
Oh Lord, please do not. Don't.
How are your
please.
flight?
Get your flight sticks ready.
They say
And
power
that probably
your
shows them like PC little mobile game. They'll probably put on and be like, hey, you can do this and play Hearthstone still on Xbox Game Pass or something.
Some Gears Pop DLC.
Yeah,
Gears
they'll
Pop.
have more stuff we don't care about. And I'll have my pillow ready. My pillow will be ready, all like fluffed up, and I'm all like,
I already know you're gonna show Forza 9.
And near the end of the show, we're probably going to see a little bit of maybe in development of Forza, and then they're going to end the show off with Halo Infinite.
yeah, they're gonna show
That'll
just the
go.
tailpipe of Forza
Forza.
with like an engine rev, and then they'll be like in development. Good night, everybody.
If that's all you're gonna give me, bro, I quit. I'm done. Hey, get y'all beers ready. Pop the top off your beer and pour one from Microsoft, because if that's all you're gonna do, nah. I mean, because you already know they're gonna show Forza, right? And I think they're gonna use that opportunity to really talk about the power of the Series X, right? Because you know how driving games, you know, there's not really a lot of things going on besides you got your car, you got your track, you got your weather dynamic, you got your, you know, crowds doing the same crap over and over, same animation in the crowds and everything. So they're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, guys, you know, Forza Motorsport 8 is really taking advantage of the Series X, fully optimized for Series X, 120 frames per second, real-time lighting, ray tracing, you know what I'm saying, real-time weather, blah 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 blah. And then everybody's gonna be like, oh, the Xbox guys, oh my god, oh, 120, oh, and it's like, bruh, come on, man, come on.
So whatever Microsoft shows, you know, come that July event, so we got in August, Sony's just gonna have that hold my beer moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is why I'm so excited about August, because everybody's been telling me, bro, wait until August, wait until you see what Sony's gonna do in August. You're gonna be blown away. You thought that
that's probably why they haven't given you a date yet for the July show. I'm thinking they're probably waiting as close as they can to the end of that month, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because they're not going to do it first week of July because of 4th of July, because a lot of people are going to be off for that week. So the second week, everybody was like, maybe, you know what I'm saying, the second week of July. But at the same time, the longer you wait, man, the more you're setting yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Because you already put a bitter taste in everybody's mouth with that Inside Xbox. So yeah, come on. How long you going to keep us waiting? You know what I'm saying? So I think they should really, really come out. And the last time we heard anything about the event, Aaron Greenberg came out and said that the team is working hard and they don't really have anything right now to even announce a date. That's what led me to get worried, because I was like, you don't have a date in mind yet? And this was like, what, like this week he said that. I don't know, man. Man, y'all better pack up y'all Xbox suitcases. It bothers me, bro. It really bothers me, because it's like you don't have anything ready right now. And the system is supposed to be coming out when? November, right?
November,
we all know it's probably going to be November. Yeah. Thank you so much, Leo, for subscribing. Yeah, so it's like, come on, man. You got to have something to pull us all in. Like, give us, this whole month went by and we didn't get anything. So, I don't know, man. I'm just, the only reason why I have my One X, I'm going to be honest with you guys, is for Netflix, Tubi, and Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Game Pass, I'm not going to lie, you know, it's decent. But other than that, bro, like, it's been gathering dust. You know what I'm saying? And I need to have a reason to keep my One X going. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. Let alone Series X. Like what's the freaking point, right? Oh, 4K 120 ray tracing. Like, oh yeah, okay. I don't know, guys, but we'll see. Considering that Scorn was running on a 2080 Ti and not on the actual system. Jesus Christ, dude. It's the more you talk about Xbox, the more your head grows. I just want him to do better, man. I want Phil to really Phil needs some help. I think Phil really do need some help over there, and I just don't know what else to say. I think if they fail this gen, bro, I think that's gonna be it for Microsoft. I think they should just get out of the whole console thing and stick to PC and Windows 10. Facts, bro. Facts.
See, the only thing Microsoft have to do in order to make the Xbox a real dominating factor in the gaming industry, because it will have slightly better graphics than the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be able to stream assets like the PlayStation 5. So basically, performance to PlayStation 5 and graphics to Xbox. But my thing is this: if Xbox wants to be dominant in the gaming circle and stuff like that, if they want to have a relative voice compared to Sony and PlayStation, the main thing that they have to do is develop the games exclusively for the Xbox Series X, not to PC, not to older consoles, not to Android or anything else like that. They have to have titles that will sell that console, and they have to have titles that will take full advantage of the hardware. Yes. And with them doing a SKU, stuff like that, that's going to be cross-platform SKU. They can't do that because they're programming to older hardware. And that's going to limit the AI, that's going to limit the physics and stuff like that. Because if you're in a multiplayer game with somebody on the Xbox Series X, and you're in a party with somebody who's on an Xbox One, well, the game is going to operate as an Xbox One, because it can only play the game at the pace that the oldest hardware can support. So, your issue is that, your brand new Halo Infinite is now running as an Xbox One AI and physics, stuff like that, because that's all it can handle, because that's who you're partied with. Yeah. All right. So you have that issue going into the Xbox Series. If you sit there and take Halo Infinite and made an Xbox Series X only and cut out all the other platforms, then that would be a dominant game. But Xbox has sit there and said, we're not doing that. We got to support the older hardware, and that's going to hold your games back.
Why? Besides supporting the ecosystem and keeping everybody happy, that 50-something million people that bought Xboxes. Other than that, why? I mean, are you guys struggling? I mean, are you guys don't know what you're doing? It's just like, if Sony can do it, I feel like you guys can do it. If Jim Ryan can come out and say, look, everything that's for PS5, developed from the ground up for PS5, is going to be exclusively for PlayStation 5 and not on PlayStation 4. So why Microsoft, why you can't do that? Because you just damage yourself. Unless they're going to come out in July and say, oh, you know what? DRM style, baby. We're going to flip the script. You know what? We take back what we said. Everything that's going to be developed for Series X will be on Series X day one. Okay. Sold.
Well, Microsoft still has the same mentality. Microsoft still has the same mentality of when Bill Gates was running the company and all they were doing was selling Windows. Okay. Windows. They want Windows to work on as much hardware as possible so they can make the most sales as possible. All right, so you're developing an operating system that's going to work over this vast majority of hardware that's out there, even though the hardware might be outdated, it doesn't have enough threads, it doesn't have enough cycles, stuff like that, it doesn't have enough cores and stuff like that. And then eventually when PCs get to a certain point where nobody's using those older systems anymore, then they'll update the software to take advantage of current gen and relative back gen. It's like Windows XP. Windows XP ran for almost 10 years. Yeah. Even though all the hardware was way beyond that. People were running 32 gigs, 64 gigs of memory in their system, but Windows XP would only recognize 16 gigs. Yeah. So you couldn't utilize your hardware. So they came out with Vista, and Vista had memory management problems from hell. So they rebuilt Vista with a brand new service pack and remarketed it as Windows 7, which had new memory management and stuff like that. But it still was operational on most of Windows XP computers. So I mean, it's like, if you're trying to advance your software, your hardware has to advance first, and you support the new hardware, not the old hardware, and then your software can actually be beneficial. But if you're trying to sit there and cover a computer that if your new software is trying to cover a computer that's 5-10 years old. So like that, you're not going to develop, new or next gen software. It's going to be held back because that old hardware that people still have, and a lot of that has to do with the government as well, because government buys these old janky computers and they want their operating system to work on this government computer that's 15 years old, and it's not going to work right, and the old computers are going to have problem operating the new software because it's got protocols in there that's designed for newer hardware that the old hardware doesn't recognize. So you get crashes, you get memory leaks, you get this, that, and the other. All right, same thing is happening with the Xbox Series X. You got this brand new next-gen technology, but they're still going to have to program the games to the oldest hardware. So now not only are you going to have bugs on old hardware because, we're going to code for the Xbox Series X and then downgrade the software for older consoles. Well, if you're doing that from a single SKU, think about all the hardware that piece of software has to cover. And it's not going to take advantage of the new hardware. So now you have to have multiple SKUs. But how many SKUs are you going to build? You can build for PC. How much hardware are you going to cover? All right, you got one build for Xbox. Well, how far back are we going to build that Xbox? Back to Xbox 360, Xbox One. How far back are we going to go? What hardware do we have to support? And now we got to build another SKU for Android. We got to build another SKU for iOS, stuff like that. You got all these different issues that you have to look at when developing, and Microsoft is trying to do this under a single SKU. They may not be able to do it. They might have to make multiple SKUs, but they're trying to do it under one SKU supporting all this hardware. And when you do that, you hold back game development. And that's the problem. If you're going to build next gen, you need to work on just next gen hardware. And that's what Sony is sitting there saying, look, we're building PlayStation 5 games. They won't work on PlayStation 4 because the hardware won't support it.
Yeah.
If you want to play a PlayStation 5 game, buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And Xbox is sitting there saying, well, you know what? We're just going to dumb down our games so we can work on Xbox One and stuff like that, as well as Xbox Series X. And, all we're going to do is throw in a nice fancy graphic package and stuff like that. Let's forget about the AI. Let's forget about the physics. Let's forget about this. So let's just put a fancy graphic package on there and put out an Xbox One game with beefed up graphic. And that's the problem, is holding it back. Yeah. Because you still have to program, you still have to code the game for load screens for the hard drive. You have to work with a lower amount of memory pool. You have to work with a slower CPU, stuff like that. So you have to take all that in consideration. And these games have to be cross-platform compatible so people can play together. So it's got to be a single SKU, and that's a major issue. If Xbox wants to be relevant, they need to drop all the old hardware. They need to drop PC and develop only for the Xbox Series X, and then they can sit there and boast, we got 12.1 teraflops of power, and our games can prove it. But until they do that, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. And, it's funny. I'm looking at the comments. Some of these people, it's funny. All these ponies sound so out of touch. Man, let me tell you something. Where do you want to call people pony or whatever? Look, ain't no fanboy over here. The fact of the matter is that when you get critical about a certain company, you speak the truth, everybody wants to turn on the light switch of, oh, you're a fanboy, or you're a fanboy. But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. You will see. The proof is going to be in the pudding come November. Well, we already know it's probably going to be November when the system is coming. And at the end of the day, we will see innovation. We will see which console is going to have the better games, right? Because Nintendo with the $2 says, can someone tell me what the F is going on with Dr. Disrespect? Oh yeah, he's banned.
He's perma-banned supposedly from Twitch, so we don't know what's going on. We don't know if he said anything, he did anything outside. It's got to be severe, like legit severe, for them to perma-ban you, because apparently he's banned not just on there, but on every other streaming platform.
What?
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, he's banned on YouTube.
Some of the controversy on that I heard was that he was bragging about screwing around behind his wife or partner or something like that with another person, and he bragged about it online, and his sponsors didn't like it, and sponsors contacted the platform. So.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. as much attention he brings to Twitch, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That isn't that.
Yeah,
that's like your icon.
More to it.
Yeah, that's like the face of Twitch, man. Like,
well, he had an exclusive contract with Twitch. I wonder if he posted to another platform.
He's banned from all of them.
Dang, man, because he has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subs. Like, I'm like, well, I guess he can just come over here and stream. What? That's
he was
crazy.
Making a killing doing something as simple as playing whatever. Like it didn't even he didn't have a set game. He just played whatever.
That's insane.
That's it. That's crazy.
Him and Ninja making all the big bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you already know what Ninja's doing. Ninja's laughing his ass off back to Twitch. I'm telling you right now. Watch him seize the moment. Watch him seize the moment and go right to Twitch.
You already know, bro. I think I think somebody said it was $60-something million. I'm like, man, Microsoft got that type of money to drop on a streamer.
Mixer a few months later.
To drop on a streamer, and y'all can't even afford to have solid first-party games on your system. And you're gonna, you know what, $60-something million can do for a game, for an IP? Come on,
you're talking about, like, you know, $67 million for a streamer. They dropped $2.6 billion on Minecraft.
That game, I'm sorry. I know some people respect Minecraft. To me is like dead air. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all, man. Like, I mean, Minecraft means nothing to me. It's like it's dead to me. You know what I'm saying? So for them to sit there and spend over $2 billion on freaking Minecraft, a game. And granted, a lot of people gonna say, "Oh, well, it's helping them drive more Xbox consoles." Oh, come on, don't start with me on that, because Minecraft is on everything.
It's not driving Xbox consoles. My kid have it on PlayStation.
Exactly.
My son in San Antonio has it on his Android and stuff like that. My next door neighbor plays it on their iPad. So I mean, it's not driving any Xbox consoles at all.
Doesn't even make sense. Nintendo Power with the $10. Thank you so much for the support, man. He says, looking on Reddit, someone said the girl he cheated with is a huge streamer, and she couldn't renegotiate her deal. So Twitch presumably removed him because she put up a Me Too blog. Oh Lord, have mercy.
Before she put up a Me Too blog or something.
Yeah, like, I mean, who knows, man? Like, that situation is very steep. But that dude got so much
a lot
money.
of that Me Too thing happening, because y'all remember Angry Joe.
That ridiculous situation.
He had to deal with some shit crazy too. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. That stuff.
I don't believe that shit. I believe something. I think that she was trying to just damage his reputation. Because I thought about it on the show. Yeah. And everything she was saying was sketchy, especially when he said he's getting his lawyers involved. She's like, you start retracting statements. It's like, nah, it's either true or it's not. Like,
yeah, exactly. We need evidence. You know what I'm saying? We need, without evidence, I mean, it's like, come on, man. It's a waste of time. Like, where's the evidence at? Where's the evidence that he pushed you up on one wall, whatever? Like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, it's just looking for clout. You know, you got some people out here, they just look for clout, bro. Like, they looking for clout. They're looking for money. They're looking for fame. You know what I'm saying? So they're like a freaking mosquito. They'll try to find anybody who got any type of clout so they can suck them dry. You know, like, come on, man. Like, this stuff is ridiculous, bro. Like, seriously, it really needs to stop. Like, people need to stop doing that mess. Like, if it ain't so, then it ain't so. You know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, anyway, guys, man, thank y'all so much for coming through. All of you guys, Salty, my boy, Devout Joystick, thank you so much for coming through. Viper, you guys can go ahead with your outro. Big Cloud, starting off with you, homie Ryan.
Yeah, man, show was fire. Shout out to everybody in the chat, the panel. You guys can follow me, excuse me, on Twitter at Big Cloud Gaming, and subscribe to me on YouTube, same name. Yeah, see you guys later on today. I think we're gonna do a spoiler cast for
anything.
Yeah, we're gonna do a spoiler cast for Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
We're gonna do that.
Viper.
Well, thank you for everybody for having me, and you know, thank you, Marlon, for this wonderful stream. It's been fire, and basically, I'll catch y'all out there in the gaming community.
Thank you, Salty, the homie. Would love to have you back, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. You guys can find me on Twitter doing shenanigans on there. Saltiest Gaming, the Eyes of the One. Twitch.tv/Saltiest Gaming. I'm on the final boss